Good evening and welcome to the Checkdown Podcast brought to you by Easter Cookies, C4 Bag Company, and the Windup Media Group. We're live from Pasadena, Texas. I'm your host, Robert Lopez, along with my co-host, Roy Swan. Got a special guest in tonight, Dickinson Gator head football coach, John Snelson.
Yes, sir.
Coach, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate
Glad to have you. Producer is Julio Ramirez. We also have Junior Aguilar. Lifting weights somewhere around here.
He's running.
Roy, how's everything going? How's your weekend?
Good, man. Good.
Coach, how was your weekend?
It was great.
Julio?
It was good.
Solid. Roy?
Yeah, we went out to Corpus, man.
Was waiting for that.
Yeah, we lost 12-6 in the championship. So.
And this was 12U?
Yep, 12U. My first time jumping up to the 12-year-olds, but it was fun. 12-year-olds listen a little bit better than my 10. So I got to coach the 12s. We didn't get it done, but it'll be all right. We'll see them in Round Rock.
Who'd y'all play?
Man, I don't know.
There's a whole bunch of kids that hey, you know what? You want to play?
They had a bunch of uniforms on. They had a fast running back. That kid, man, as soon as he got the ball, and they lined up in a wishbone or some craziness.
Yeah.
Everybody in the box, and they were snapping it and running it downhill.
Sweeping
now,
it? Straight downhill?
Get downhill now.
What?
And once he got to the second level, he was fast enough to beat you.
Are these the STX boys?
It was STX something. I don't know.
Was that South Texas? I'm sure.
Yeah, South Texas. When we plowed, we were the bigger team. I felt like we were the better team, but I'm supposed to, So I don't know. We lost, but we'll see them in Round Rock.
Absolutely.
Coach, how's 2020 been to you so far?
Man, it's been great.
Congratulations on your District 24-6A.
Yes, sir.
24-6A. Coach of the Year. Congratulations, man. How does that feel?
Thank you. That's a program award. Just honored that we could get that done and bring the district championship back to Dickinson. And whenever you get a Coach of the Year award, man, that's a
big thing.
Program award. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Roy?
Right into it, Coach. So I'm a Galveston County guy.
Yes, sir. Cheat County.
County. We got a lot of them watching tonight, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
From what I hear.
Right now, you guys all eyes are on Dickinson. And one of the big things I see is you guys are going out and trying to find the competition and play the competition earlier.
Right.
How do you think that impacts your kids, and how do you think that impacts the program?
Oh, it's big. It drums up lots of excitement with the community, and with the kids as well. Whenever you go out and play real good people early, they show you what your weaknesses are.
Definitely.
And so if you just line up a bunch of rummies that you're going to whip, sometimes you overlook things that you need to
tighten
work
up
on, right?
Yep.
And so whenever you play people like Allen or people like Katie, they're going to show you what your weaknesses are, and so you can get that corrected. So whenever you go into district, then you got everything tight.
Definitely.
When does realignment come out? When is that?
February 3rd.
Monday. Some people think Shadow Creek is coming to you guys' district. What do you think? Do you think they'll come, or do you think they'll be with Pearland?
They may. I think Brazos Wood's coming in some shape, form, or fashion. Whether it's us, Brazos Wood, and the Creek District for a 7 team, or us, Brazos Wood, Alvin, Shadow Creek with the CCISD for a 9-team district. I don't know. The shift in all this was 3 teams went down in that North Shore district. Beaumont United, Baytown Sterling, and LaPorte, and so that leaves that district with 5.
Yeah.
And so it's Beaumont, Westbrook, Deer Park, Channelview, C.E. King, North Shore. So I think they're going to put those 4 guys that are north of 10, Westbrook, Channelview, King, North Shore with those for Humble
Okay.
Makes sense.
schools, and then Deer Park with Pasadena, maybe the Pearlands. Who knows? In a age of there's no secrets. Man, the freaking UIL does a great job of keeping the dang lid on that, So everybody's got their own ideas, but, man, it really don't matter. We're going to play whoever we get.
We've heard a lot about Shadow Creek going to y'all's district.
Yeah.
And they didn't say too much, though. They didn't.
They didn't know too much. I think. What do you think about that match? What do you think about that game? A game with Shadow Creek. You already. We'll talk about the Katy thing in a minute,
Sure.
but bringing a team like Shadow Creek in the district, what do you think that does to to the district? How do you?
It definitely beefs it up. They can run, man. They're really fast, and that's the element that scares coaches the most, but there is a difference between 5A and 6A, and Shadow Creek is a excellent program, very, very well coached, lots of good athletes, but George Ranch saw that as well. They went 16-0, and then their first year in 6A, I think they were 6-5, maybe 7-4, something like that. And that's just really no disrespect. There's just a little bit more depth, and that ain't numbers game evens out. Shadow Creek's been the benefactor of playing 5A ball with 6A numbers these last 2 years, and that is what it is. But it'll definitely be a challenge with the name Drones kid back at quarterback. Solid. They play big time defense over there, and man, they can run. So I'll say it'll be a good one.
So what do you think about? So I read that the Katy game. So you spoke about having 9 teams in the district. The
Possibly.
Katy game won't happen.
We would bump out, right?
We would bump that Katy game.
Yes,
out.
sir.
So we're not gonna hope for that. We're gonna hope for the Katy game. What do you think that How do you think you guys match up with a team like that? Like,
man, this is the deal. Whenever we go out and start picking our non-district games, we try to get a good mixture of teams that are similar to what we're going to see in district and in the playoffs. You just don't want to play all pro I teams, or you don't want to play all 3-4 defense teams. Want to get a good mixture. And Clear Springs and us have locked up for the district championship the previous couple years, and Coach Daly coming from Katy, they run Katy's program, everything, and so for us, all of our non-district people dropped us, and we just had a hard time finding people who they wanted to play us, and of course Katy doesn't duck anybody, and rightfully so, but Katy's solid, Katy's physical, and they're going to show you who you are, and so we're looking forward to it.
I think so. You guys would most likely have to see Katy in a playoff game,
right?
So, what do you feel about that? You guys playing against each other?
Don't like it. Yeah, I really don't like it. That's the reason North Shore and Katy really don't like playing each other, because they know that
they're going to
meet up again. But nobody wants to play Katy. Nobody wants to play North Shore. So they almost always end up having to play each other. But they got out of that. But man, this is the deal. Dickinson, we feel like we're a top 5 team off in the area, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. You got to play the best. You just can't walk around and say, "Hey, man, we was 10-2. Hey, we was 13-1." We ain't got to get it done, and we're not going to get it done playing a bunch of people that we're better than every single week. We got to go out and we got to challenge ourselves and make it happen.
My bad. Sorry.
I think you got, like, right now you guys are, it's just right there. Like,
We're on the cusp, absolutely.
You're right there, and I think, a lot of times that's what I hear people like, we're going to take that next step. What do you think, you guys need to, what is it going to take for Dickinson to take that next step? Like, what is it going to take for you guys to finish it? I know it's it's not, we talk about it.
It's a gauntlet.
So this year it was Atascocita,
right?
North Shore.
They put some points up on Atascocita though.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a blowout.
Right.
I mean,
but I'm saying to win that, you have to beat a Atascocita team.
Right.
Then you have to go beat North Shore. Then you're going to have to beat Lake Travis.
Man.
Then you have to go beat Duncanville.
That's
so
exhausting.
We're not talking about, I don't think a bunch of people grasp that concept. They're like, oh, well, you lost in this round. Well,
right.
This division that you got to go through is, it's going to take a special team to win that.
Sure. And ain't no disrespect to Katie Taylor, but we're beating Katie Taylor in non-district 42-0 at the half, and Katie Taylor goes to the semifinals in the D2 playoffs.
wow.
There's just a big difference, when Cy-Fair wins their championship. They got 3,800 kids, but they were the third biggest in their district, so they got to go D2, and so they rolled on through. Katie is Katie. You can't diss them, but they won their championships in the Division II. That it's just different. It's just different. But
It's tough, man.
For us, this is the first year that we've had over 3,000 kids. The first year that we've turned in over 3,000 kids. We've been 2,800, and when you play Atascocita, 3,800. When you play North Shore, 4,700. Football is a numbers game, man. You know that, and not only do you have to have outstanding starters, but you got to have quality depth, because you are not going to play 6A D1 football and not get people dinged up, and that is the biggest difference, is the quality depth. And for us, we need to keep on getting bigger. Honestly, that's saying one thing, and we're on the cusp, man. The 2014 we got beat in the quarterfinals. Cy Ranch plays for it all. 2015 we play in the quarterfinals. North Shore beats us. North Shore wins it all. North Shore beats us in 16. Atascocita beats us 17. North Shore beats us 18. They're the best high school team maybe ever in 18. That was a freak show. They were amazing. Not only outstanding coaches, but that team was off the chain, crazy good. And then this year, Atascocita gets us again. We just run into teams that were real good, and we just haven't got that thing done yet. So honestly, I'm probably kind of dancing around this thing, but we need a little bit more numbers, and heck, we got to get it done, man. We got to put our money where our name mouth is. Bottom line. Nobody knows this year. We had a great football team this year, man. But and I didn't say this. Nobody. I didn't say this in the paper or nothing like that. But man, we got smoked by the flu versus Itasca City. You ain't gonna believe this. We had 15 starters miss 3 days of school and 3 days of practice. We had, 15 varsity players, 7 starters missed 3 days of school and 3 days of practice because they had the flu. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And then we just played the worst first 4 minutes of a game. You know, we're down 22-0.
Yeah. The
first 4 minutes, our quarterback, Mike Welch, was, outstanding player, has not thrown a pick all year, and we opened up the game with the pick 6. And then we just make it. We turn it over a couple of more times. We're down 22-0. You take that away, we ain't win a game, of course, but you can't do that. We just we're not getting it done, man. We got to do it. So
that's people see. Nobody. The football person in me knows that's a real thing. When you go out and play games, injuries matter. People being sick matters. All of that stuff, practice matters. But to the people sitting in the bleachers, they don't care about any of that.
Sure.
All they care about
winning
is the scoreboard. Yeah, they care about the scoreboard, man. And
right.
It's tough. Like, you think you wouldn't deal with that. Like, we on a youth level. So, just in the track record that I have coaching, we won the Super Bowl our freshman year. Sophomore year, we win it again. We don't get touched. Nobody comes close.
Right.
This year, we run into a good team. Like, we run into a Texas City team that's talented, and they beat us twice. Man, we got people jumping ship like we're the worst team in America.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we lost 2 games to one team. We're not,
That's right.
This is not time to break the band up.
That's right.
This is, this is time to regroup.
Build off of it.
Let's
right.
build and, but these days, people don't know how to accept that, fight through adversity, man. They don't know how to bounce back from something. They think like they have to win or else. There's different ways to win, especially in a Galveston County right now, where how many teams do we have in the playoffs? Deep. Let's say beyond that. Who's going? Who else is going? Who else that's going there that actually has a chance?
Right.
Right. You're not talking about like it was when I was there.
Yeah.
Right.
There was Texas City, there was Friendswood, there was Lamar, there was Galveston Ball. We were all going to the playoffs and we were all going deep. So this is a different Galveston County. It's a different era, a different time, and realistically, Dickinson is everybody's got.
Right.
When you guys are representing Galveston County.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think people understand how tough that is to come out of that district. Well, you got something, Robert? After you finish, I'm gonna ask them a couple questions off of what these guys are sending us.
What are some of the goals you guys have coming in the spring and going into the 2020 season?
I got you, man. We're gonna be brand new. We're gonna be brand new. We lost 38 seniors. We've got two starters back on defense. We got 4 back on offense. Okay, check this out. We had 11 kids in the secondary. Okay, 7 corners and 4 safeties. Every one of them was a senior. So, we are going to be brand new. 0 experience there. We've got to find D-line. We've got to find some linebackers off on the inside.
Yeah.
And then quarterback's a big deal for us. The trigger man, Mike Welch was just so
You guys lost him to
solid
U of
for
H.
us. Absolutely. Yes, sir. We've got talent, man. We've got good kids. We got a really good system. We're gonna put it together. We're just gonna be brand new,
I think I got 1 year eligibility left. I probably got 2 plays.
I look like I'm in 9th grade.
We
so
sure take you.
I might only have 2 snaps.
I might not even make the freshman team. So
We just had SirVincent Rogers walk in, and I know that he wants this. I knew it was coming. I already had some, man, so I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share. But so we got Donnie Spry says the class of 2020 hasn't lost a game since middle school. Average wins by 30 plus. We will make some noise these next 2 years.
So 22 maybe. 2020.
2022, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
That's the class that he's talking about.
That's the crew. Ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about Corey Williams wanted to know how you would do this next coming season. We talked about that. What do we got? So recruiting, we got signing day coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
We spoke earlier about the guy you got going to U of H. Go right. Cougs, you know what I'm saying? Go Cougs. But how is recruiting? Do you get a lot of guys coming into Dickinson looking like a lot of coaches? I know we talked to Shadow Creek and they said like Dabo Sweeney never recruits this area.
Right.
And I'm like, that surprised me to see that Dabo, this is a talent-rich area, to see that Dabo wouldn't come here. What types of guys do you have coming in and out of Dickinson?
Man, yesterday we had 13, and we Coach Herman from Texas was off at our basketball game. We had LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Baylor. Shoot, man, I can't even list them all. I mean,
who's
everybody,
not coming is
right,
probably a
everybody.
Who'd you get from Ole Miss, Coach? Who came here?
Joe John Finley.
Okay.
Joe John Finley was Texas A&M's tight ends coach this past fall, and Coach Kiffin got him.
Wow. Do you ever get Pivoto from A&M?
We do. So, yes, sir.
That's who Coach Pivoto sat in my living room and talked me into going to U of H away from Miami. That's how good of a dude that guy.
There ain't no question.
Coach Pivoto is probably the best recruiter.
Absolutely.
If Coach Pivoto comes and talks to you,
get him on the podcast.
He'll have you at ITT Tech playing football, passing up all your offers, man. That dude taught me like my mom still speaks about him to this. I play football 20. It's been.
Yes, sir.
It's 2020, so 19 years ago I was getting recruited, and my mom still asks me about Coach Pivoto. That's how much of an impact that dude had in recruiting. So that's a big deal. And
absolutely.
Going back to what you're talking about, depth, I feel like that was a thing in the college game too, right? When we were at U of H, I feel like our starters could play with everybody, right?
You bet.
We could play the game with everybody. But once it came to the second group and the third group, we're playing in Michigan one year, and the first guy they bring in is an All-American, right? The first D tackle that I'm blocking. He's an All-American. Cool. He's going to get tired in 2 plays, and the All-American's going to go sit down. Well, you think you get a break, right? The next guy they bring in, he was only a sophomore that year, but the next year he was the number 10 pick in the draft.
There it is.
So all game, you're blocking.
Ain't no break. That's right.
There's no break. There's no reduction in talent, and that's where I don't think a lot of people understand what depth means. They think, oh well, depth means we got 2 kids. No, it doesn't mean we got 2 kids. I got 2, Division I level kids versus 2 NFL players.
Yes,
so that's a big deal when you're talking about that. How you doing, SirV, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just glad to join you guys.
We appreciate you coming through.
Some football, and that's my kind of conversation. So.
Yeah. So you play for you play in the Canadian Football League?
Yeah, man. I've been fortunate to play over there for a pretty good while now. So.
Yeah. You play for the Edmonton
Eskimos.
Eskimos. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's a controversial term, but
yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, but
how's that going?
Going good, man. I just missed this last season to injury. I tore my left tricep the 3rd day of training camp, and it was my first year signing with this team, and so I was looking to go in and pretty much set the tone and establish, who I am. And yeah, third day, I tore my tricep in one-on-one pass rush, and just kind of felt like a bad bruise.
Man.
And I continued. I kept practicing. I finished the practice and talked to the trainers after, and they assessed it. And as an athlete, you try to push through anything.
Of course.
So the first thing I said to him was, "Hey, we got to get this swelling out." And he was like, "Just slow down. We'll do some things." And so he checked it and had me go through a few different things. And when he told me to press the back of my fist into his hand, like I could do everything, grip strength, everything was fine. And when he told me to press my fist into the back of his hand, I had no power at all. And I knew then it was something pretty serious, and he didn't want to say it right away. But found out that same day from the MRI that I tore my tricep, and I pretty much knew it would cost me that season. It's a 6-month process, just rehabbing it. So I had the surgery like 2 days later, and rehabbed all season, push to try to, see if I at least be available postseason, and was really close, but just wasn't there yet. And I knew if I tried to rush it, that I'd likely injure it again, and so I ended up missing the entire season, man. And so I'm in pretty good shape, and I'm looking forward to getting back out there next season and seeing, what I can do.
So you're good? You're healthy now?
Fully healthy, completely healthy
awesome. Now. The fans seem to think that you're healthy because I got a message here that says I seen SirV in Lotus the other day. This is coming directly from the fans, and they're like, you could have paid for their food in Lotus. Yeah, you could have paid.
I don't know who this was.
They just
I will confirm. I will confirm. I was in Lotus. I'll confirm. I was in Lotus with my wife and daughter. So I don't know who was spying on us, but
spying on you.
Definitely made a stop by Lotus, man. Good food, not something I can eat every day, but.
Robert's never had. Coach Snelson, you ever had Lotus?
No, sir.
No.
What about Timmy Chan's? Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
I've never had Timmy Chan's.
Robert's never had Timmy Chan or Lotus. I meant to get somebody. I meant to bring it. We got to bring.
They give me a hard time all the time. If it's not because I'm short, it's because I'm stuff I haven't eaten.
I had a question for Coach. Let me find it. The first question, Coach. The guys want to know. Johnny Will wants to know, what's the difference in the kids 10 years ago and the kids today?
Mental toughness.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good
mental toughness. Kids nowadays live on social media. I mean, really, all of us do. We say kids do. Heck, we're all plugged in, and everybody's so worried about being liked and being followed and all that kind of stuff that a bunch of them don't want to try and fail because they're going to get chopped on. They're going to get, slammed on. Like back in the day, if we didn't play well, man, we didn't win. If we didn't want to see anybody, we didn't want to hear it, we just didn't go to the barbershop, man. We didn't go to the store, right? Well, heck, man, now you can't get away from it. You ain't making a mistake, man. You're getting smoked, you know, and for a grown man, that's thing tough. Much less an kid, but I think just being able to push through. Sometimes parents don't. I can't say it like this. Lots of parents are trying to prepare the path for their kids, not prepare the kid for the path. They're trying to take all the bumps out of the road. They're trying to take, all of the obstacles. Everybody, all of us parents want our kids to have it better than we had it.
Exactly.
But where we get it mixed up, it being easier isn't better.
Yeah.
Because we're just making our kids soft. It's let's teach them what we wish we would have known whenever we were that age. Let's don't make it easier. Let's don't give them more. You know what I'm saying?
A good point.
We get it twisted.
Spot on.
That's something. And it ain't them.
I'm guilty.
Man, that's all of us. Absolutely.
I'm guilty.
I'm locking me up and throw away the key. Yeah. But I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world because my sons, we walk in the store and they say, "Hey, I want this," and I'm like, "Man, I'm not buying that." But Daddy, I'm hungry. All right, man, just get one then. Just get one. And then when we're at football practice and they're acting the same exact way, I'm like, oh, man, you better get, because now I want to go back to being who I was. Right. You can't be both. But it's hard not to be.
It is.
It's hard.
It is.
It's hard not to be. I can't, I had a hard mom. My mom was, she was probably worse than any coach that y'all ever met, right? If I came off the field and I was messing around, I looked back there and I knew about it.
Right.
So I didn't. That's the difference between. I think we, a lot of these kids, man, these parents baby them. we talk about something called daddy ball is a big thing in youth sports. Sure. These guys, they want their son to run the ball. They want their son to be the star. They want their son to be the hero.
Right.
And they get to do that, right? Because anybody can sign up on the coaches forum.
You bet.
Then we got to hand them off to you, and we just hand you a big ass baby. He might be 6 foot tall, but he's just a baby in diapers because daddy's promoted him to be the star from 0 to 15. And now you get him, and he's got all this talent, but he doesn't have anything right here. So it's like we got to figure out how to help these kids develop in the right way. You know. So I think that's a great answer. But I'm guilty. What about you, Robert?
I'm the same way. I'm hard on both of them, but it's like I want this. Well, work for it, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, all right, you're right. Go get it. You know, it's all good.
I got you.
But I mean, the way you describe the way you are with your kids, it's the same way I am, and exactly what he said. That's the problem nowadays because everybody. It's like what we were talking about a while ago. Kids are scared to take a loss.
Right.
They're scared to fail.
That's right.
Because in some of their parents' eyes, they don't want to disappoint them because they see that their kids. I mean, they see that their parents are so enjoyed and having a great time seeing them do whatever it is. They don't want to be like, well, I don't want to do this anymore because I don't want to upset mom and dad or whatever it is. Right. And so it's good and bad, you know, because you always want to push your kids to do better and to be the best they can. But sometimes there's pushing it to the line and then there's going overboard. Right. So it's a fine line.
I think this too. I think leadership, problem solving is man, it's getting tougher, you know, and you know we all talk back in the day, but you know, everything now for kids are structured. They don't ride their bike to the park, pick teams, start playing, there's an argument, there's a fight, everything's good, okay, there's a pecking order, everybody's good. Somebody tries to pick on somebody, no, hey man, we're not gonna pick on kids, man. We don't get down like that. You know, now kids get taken to a trainer and it's structured and it's there's just not a whole lot of, hey, let's all get together and let's figure it out. Mm-hmm. And it's harder now for kids to take ownership of that locker room, take ownership in that weight room, take ownership on that practice field. They're waiting for the coach, the personal trainer, the whoever to tell them, hey, this is the drill, this is what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just different. And communication is a big deal too, because all of us communicate with this right here, and I would much rather text you than talk to you on the telephone. Why is that? I don't know. You know, but just short comments, yes, you know, boom, boom, thumbs up, pound, whatever it is, you know, and just getting kids to communicate with each other and communicate on the field. You know, that's a big deal, and you know, it's. I think social media is great, but there's definite areas where kids are changing because they aren't put in situations that make them struggle. Yeah. Problem solve, and this is the deal. Toughness comes from struggle. Yeah. Period. Toughness comes from struggle, and as parents, we don't want our kids to struggle. We love them. They're our most precious cargo, and that's all of us, you know, and man, we want it better for our kid. Well, making it easier ain't better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's
crazy. Right. I feel like it's a tough spot for parents to be in because, you know, most of us,
absolutely,
you know, we come from different backgrounds, but I know for me and probably for him, we come from not much struggle.
Yes, sir.
And I'm tough as nails.
And I'd like to think I'm tough as nails, but you know, we both have had some success in life, and you know, for our kids, we want better, and it's that fine line of, you know, trying to give them better, but also making them achieve and making them earn it.
Yes, sir. Totally understand.
And I deal with my oldest every day, you know, just trying to get her to understand the potential she has, and you know, just how much talent and ability she has. But if she's not willing to work, then, you know, it's pointless.
Perfect.
You know, and like I said, it just puts parents in a tough spot because you're like, all right, I want to provide and I want to give them the world, but at the same time, they need to learn some tough lessons so they understand that this lifestyle is provided for you. We struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We went through a lot to get to this point to be able to provide the way we are, and if you want to keep it going, you're going to have to.
It's hard for them to understand that, though.
Right.
When they're living in a nice place,
Right.
when they're getting whatever they want, you know, when they got the nicest shoes, it's hard to understand that because my shoes would talk, so I knew I was struggling, right? I knew when I walked outside, the people I seen out there, I knew we lived in a tough neighborhood.
Right.
So it's hard to say, hey man, you gotta work to get this stuff. You gotta work. I'm like, why? I'm already here. Like, look where I'm at.
Yeah.
Look where. So it's I don't know, man. This don't come with an instruction manual,
That's
right? Nobody.
That's right.
They just, the first time I was surprised. You have the baby, everybody's happy. They take the baby in the back, check it out. They stay there a couple days, and then they're like, okay,
You got it. Take it away.
No manual.
Do your best.
what am I supposed to do with this thing? Like,
You guys
I've
have
never
some
had
bad
one of
trips.
these before, man. There was no driver's ed for the baby. You just go on, take him home, man. Whatever you do with him, bring him back here if he gets sick. But all of that stuff, it makes sense, man. But it is probably the toughest thing.
Absolutely.
Trying to figure out, how to be to discipline my kids
Right.
and to make them tougher, make them not just football players. Football is just a small thing in life, but to make them better men when they grow up. You want to see it. You want to have a good young man. I want my sons to graduate high school, graduate college, and go on to work, whether they play football or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough to to figure out how to do that. How to
Right.
I mean,
without baby.
to a point, it's trial and error. You know,
Absolutely.
I think in my household, we've given our oldest the freedom up until this point to try to figure it out on her own, thinking that was the way, and then that didn't work. And so now we're trying to structure our time in the evenings where, okay, this is how it's going to be. And, it's like pulling teeth. She's so uncomfortable not having that freedom now, but, it's a lot more structured, and she's getting work in on all the things she need to be working on. But at the same time, it's like, it's a different world for her. But, we're just trying something different now. And if that don't work, then we're going to try something else. But, we got to keep trying to get through to him. Like you said, you don't want to turn them over to him and, they're not ready to, like you said, lead. They're not ready to, take on those tough situations they'll be in sport or in whatever they're doing.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has this issue.
See, y'all didn't know we were going to have the parenting moment on the Checkdown. Now we're going to teach you how to coach and we're going to teach you how to parent.
That's funny.
But Coach,
That's funny.
how do you deal with the hecklers of the world, the guys who sit in the bleed? Now this is a personal question for me,
Sure.
because this is something that I don't know how to deal with because I'm a volunteer, right, and I'm giving those kids everything. In my opinion, I am.
Sure.
But we deal with the people who, y'all don't do this or y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that. How does a professional deal? I don't have to deal with that at work. Nobody, nobody heckles me at work. So how do you deal with that? Because I need to be much better. And one more, how do you deal with the refs? Give me those two. This is a question I'll ask. So you can go one. You can go 1, 2 on that.
Well, hecklers, man, they got their opinion, and being a coach is tough because people come and watch only 5% of what you do. They don't see the 95% of the daily interaction that you actually have with those kids, academically, helping them with their teachers, getting them to and from practice time, after school, and heck, man, it is what it is. But honestly, you just ain't got to try to block it out because at the end of the day, if I'm not going to ask you for advice, what do I care what your opinion is?
True. That's a solid statement right there. That's a solid statement.
Yeah.
And
Can
and with the hecklers, man, it's back in the day, man, it really wasn't as bad as it was, but society now, ESPN just used to be game after game after game after game. But now it's talk shows like this about people being critical of what players do, of what coaches do. You know, it's everybody's got an opinion, everybody's critical, everybody's this, that, and the other, and it's just kind of how society is, and it's an
adjustment.
Yeah. It's a tough job, but you know, you got to remember what your why is. You know, because we don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget what our why is, and we are there to pour into those kids, and the best we can do is the best we can do, and you know, that's a tough one. And you know, referees, man, you know, it's kind of the same deal. You know, they got judgment, and there's times that that we're going to disagree with them. You know, there's a million times that the people up in the bleachers are going, dude, why did you call that? That ain't play. Why are you playing this kid here? Why didn't you call a timeout there? You know, I personally try to treat those guys like I would want to be treated. You know, and if they'll talk to me, then I'm fine. But if they ain't blow me off, you know, because this is how I make a living. That's a side job for them. This is how I make a living. Dickinson Gators don't win, I'm gonna be packing up and I'm gonna be going down the road. So you're gonna talk to me, you know, and we can disagree and all that kind of stuff. But you know, really, that's the deal, man.
I'm working. Next year, I'm gonna be better with the refs.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I have been to some youth football games, and those guys understand that they get paid by the game, not by the hour, and they let a lot of stuff slide, Jack. Holy cow.
I can end the interview right now. That is exactly what I've been saying in here.
Mute his mic.
Yeah, cut me out because this is going to be the third week in a row. But those dudes, and the difference is, you know, we're volunteering, and they know it, right? They know I'm getting paid. Sure. They treat us like we don't know anything. And that is, you know, as a grown man, that's the worst thing you can do to me is treat me like – treat me disrespectfully. Right. So then it stops becoming about football and it stops becoming about the kids and it becomes about personal, me and you.
Yes,
like,
sir.
you know, and I don't like that, but that's what happens. It's like, dude, you're using these kids, you know, as a channel to make more money, but you're not helping me teach them. Yeah. You got to help me. You got to help me. Who's holding? You got to be able to tell me who's holding so I can coach them. If you just say he's holding, we can't do anything with that. Right. So I'm going to leave it. Everybody, y'all heard it here first. The refs are mistreating us at the youth game.
Hey, Coach, I got a question for you. So how was it? I've heard a lot of information about your son, Bo.
Yes, sir.
How was it coaching him?
Man, it was fun.
You guys were at Memorial.
Was at Pastor Memorial.
Yeah. So how was it, though? I know he went to go play at Navy.
Went to the Naval Academy.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You know, Bo, growing up in the field house, growing up, you know, just
being around
his dad, you know, he loved football. And so we sat down. He was in the 7th grade, and I said, hey, man, what are your goals? Because I definitely want to help you. I don't want to push you into something that you don't want. And he said, well, Dad, you know, I didn't want to play D1 football. And I said, man, it's going to be tough because Bo was not a big guy. Yeah. He was 5'7.5". He was 170 pounds whenever he was a senior. And at that time, he was little bitty. And I said, well, man, this is the deal. If you want to play D1 football, and that's a lofty, lofty goal, you're never going to be the biggest. You're never going to be the fastest. So you better be the toughest. And you better take care of the little things every single day. You know, you got to outwork, you got to out hustle, you got to out tough, you got to out endure on the daily. So I'm gonna push you, you know, and I'm gonna help you, and I'm just gonna tell you, you being my son, it doesn't matter how I treat you or how hard you work. half the people are going to say you're getting what you're getting because your dad's a coach. That's just kind of how society is, right? You know. I said, but how I'm going to treat you and how you got to handle it, the people that matter are the people inside that field house, your teammates, the people that you're in that main locker room with. They have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's no favoritism, period. And he did an outstanding job. I've coached a lot of really good football players, a lot more talented than him, but I can honestly say he's the toughest kid that I've ever coached because he let us be tough on him, and he struggled, and he rushed for 56 touchdowns, 5,200 yards, two-time All-State. Real proud. Coaches around the area, players that he played against will come up and just say, man, coach, that kid was just a warrior.
Yeah,
wasn't the fastest, wasn't the biggest, but just was a warrior. And you ask these guys, at the end of every game, one guy wants to go a little more, and one guy's glad that it's over with, and Bo got the upper hand more than he didn't, and really, really proud of him.
That's good, man.
Appreciate
I heard
that.
a lot about him. I heard a lot about his work ethic.
Yeah.
Junior has stories for days, so I'm like,
Yeah,
I got to meet this guy. Maybe next time when we're in our new studio,
absolutely.
you guys can both come out and
Absolutely.
join the show. Boy, you good?
Yep, Jeff Sir. So, what are you looking forward to? Let me rewind. What is the difference in playing the American game and the Canadian game? What are the big differences that you see there?
Probably the first thing that I realized right away is it's a faster game. It probably sounds crazy saying that because, in the NFL, you got the best athletes in the world playing in the NFL. But just the game is fast. It's a 20-second play clock.
Oh, wow.
The field's 65 yards wide. The end zones are 20 yards deep. 110 yards infield from goal line to goal line. So the field's just bigger, and it's way more space, and it's 12-on-12 football. So the game's a lot faster as far as pace. And that field is a lot of field to cover.
It's an extra person. What do you have on offense? Will you have an extra receiver? Extra?
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, you got an extra skill guy on both sides.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty much. It just depends on what formation you want to get in, but yeah, extra offensive player. You put him anywhere, but yeah, the field's way bigger, man. It's just a lot more ground to cover and a bigger field and a faster pace. A lot of guys that are usually too small for the NFL can come and find positions and fit right in the CFL game because it's it's faster pace, faster game. Usually DBs excel in the CFL can translate and play in the NFL. Just saw today a defensive back just signed with the Chicago Bears from the Calgary Stampeders, and it's a lot of good DBs in our league. You're covering guys that are all kind of crazy motions, but they're hitting the motion full speed at the line of scrimmage. So it's like the old game blitz. You had those glitches. Guys are running full speed at the snap. It's the same thing. All kind of crazy motion. So just a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it's football. And for me, I had to get used to that yard off the ball. The D-line is a yard off the ball, which means for me at tackle, guys have a lot of
Momentum.
Yeah, they can create a lot more speed to power moves, and you gotta do things with your sets that are different than you would do down south. Down south, I want to get my hands on you right away. In the CFL, you got to find ways to do that with the angles of your sets and different techniques to try to, cut the distance. Because if you give those guys, they're in wide nines, they're a yard off the ball.
Seems like cheating, bro.
Essentially, it is.
But,
you giving a guy that kind of, a yard off. He's in a wide nine. You're probably 8 to 10 yards away from him. By the time you guys make contact, he's, 6-7 steps. Think of the kind of momentum you can you can have. And so, it's just you got to play with it. And, I just approached my first training camp like, I don't know what to expect. I didn't really know much about the rules. I just knew it was probably the second best league in the world at that time. And I had exhausted all my opportunities trying to get back in the NFL. And I was just like, man, I'm going to go and work and just see what happens and, just keep my head down. And, training camp was tough that first training camp. But, it brings a lot out of you, a lot of things you didn't know you had in you, and once you get to battling and you get a good feel for the game and, good things can happen. And fortunately for me, I was able to stick for whatever reason. I guess my skill set was more fitting to the CFL game than it was in the NFL.
It's because of what I taught you.
You my boy. You my
Hey,
boy.
man,
You did teach me a lot, man. You taught me a lot.
Me and SirV are friends, so we're gonna talk and play around a lot the time we're here.
No, I'll be honest. Probably and you probably don't know this, but probably the best thing in football that you taught me coming in as raw as I was and as young as I was kind of out of control, and I was trying to play up to you guys' level, and that was my way of trying to play up to you guys' level. If I could be tougher, if I could do more, if I can hustle, if I can do the things that everybody else isn't doing, then I can fit in. And, guys won't always talk about me being a young guy amongst all of these upperclassmen. And I remember you pulling me to the side in the game, and you was like, man, this is football. Like, you're not back at home in the neighborhood you grew up in. This is football. And you gotta treat it like the game it is. You got to play it for what it is. And it just made me stop. And I was like, all right, I can't be about to fist fight a guy on the field. This is really a game, and I gotta trust my technique and what I've been doing in practice, and I can't take it to that level. And that kind of eventually grounded me out, and I was able to just focus on playing football, and that helped me out a lot along my journey and the journey that I'm still on. It's helped me a lot.
I think so. That edge that you play with. Me, I play for a guy named Clancy Barone. Right now he's the Vikings head coach, not head coach. He's the Vikings O-line coach. And Coach Barone's biggest thing was always be even keel, right? You miss a block, come back and make the next block. You make a block, don't be out here patting yourself on. Always be even keel. Before Coach Barone, I was SirV.
Right.
I was on the pile. Right. I was that kid.
Just playing on the edge.
Coach Barone hated it. Like for 2 years I played for this guy, and he changed my personality. Like he changed who I was. Right. And sometimes, like seeing you play when you first got there, I was like, man, I want to be like. But I didn't have it no more. Like I didn't have I could play football, but Coach Barone had mellowed me out so much to the point where it's just like, make your block, get back to the huddle. You know what I'm saying? If you make a good block, you can be excited, but get back to the huddle because you got 50 more of those good blocks to make.
Exactly.
You got to make that block all game. The one in the second quarter is meaningless if you don't make the one in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But, I used to love that edge. Like I still look at kids in high school, and when I see them, like the kid from North Shore, the number 74, I'm like, when I see him and his nastiness, the first thing I say, man, that kid reminds me of SirV. Because this dude, when it would be 2 seconds after the play, and he'd still be pushing, and I'm like, damn, SirV, like I want you to push, but I just 1 second less, Right. But man, it was everybody loved it. The coaches loved it. We all loved it, But we hated it when he would get a penalty. It
got to the point where it was just like, man, you looking into these upperclassmen's eyes, and you seeing the disappointment, and you're like thinking you're doing something good, and that is helping, but really is you're hurting the team. Penalty after penalty, you're hurting the team. And over time, you just learn, like, okay, there's a better way to play this game. There's a better way to not conserve energy, but make the most of the energy.
You what, 18? True freshman.
18. I had just turned 18 in May.
Yeah,
and
true
by
freshman.
3-4 games in, I was starting with y'all. And, that was a wild ride. I think my first start was against Miami, and I know you remember that game.
Yeah, we had a gauntlet that year. We played Miami and Oklahoma back-to-back, right?
We had Oklahoma early. So it may have been like Oklahoma, Rice, somebody else, then Miami.
Then Miami,
Army, then Miami. Yeah, so it was Rice, Oklahoma, Army, Miami. And I think I came off the bench against Army.
Yeah.
Somebody was hurt, came off the bench,
Army,
and I think we rushed for like almost 400 yards. Anthony Evans rushed for like 400 yards. And the next game I started, and man, it was fun, but it was I don't know. You knew you was playing college football at that point.
It takes some getting used to. Coach, that Army game. So look, Army, when you go and play those academies, like you pretty much feel like you're gonna win,
Right.
But those are games you got to play the whole
Yes,
game.
sir.
There's no when the score is 31-0, there's no playoff.
Yeah.
So we used to run this little play where the guard pulled around. I don't even remember what it was called, but I pull around. Army's got a linebacker. He's probably 5'8", 160. In number 10, I remember it like it's yesterday. So I look pre-snap. I look. Oh, this is about to be fun. About to kill this little dude. Man, I pulled around there, and I came probably about 70%. And that linebacker met me at the line of scrimmage and knocked my damn chin strap over my nose.
No doubt.
And from that point on, I knew. And that was not my first time playing Army. Every major hit I took in college, like every time I've ever felt like I've been hit hard, it was playing against Army. And we won all of those games at least by 21 points.
But some of the toughest players, like you said, that Army team may have not been as talented as Army is like nowadays, but you just knew every rep. Like a guy was gonna play to the whistle and was gonna,
that's if I can put anything in my kids, that's the one thing I always try to promote. Dude, every snap, play to the whistle, play to the whistle, because it's something you can't teach, and somebody's gonna see it, right? That's what people see. They're like, man, look at that kid. He's playing to the whistle. He's downfield. Lineman, get downfield, help the running back up. Get downfield, help the receiver up. Somebody hits the quarterback, pick him up. Those are the things people see. That's how you get yourself in the camera too. That's right. Right. That's how
that's the way we used to view it. If you chasing the ball, you can get on the highlight.
Yeah.
And that's why I looked at it in high school, and I kind of brought that to Houston. That's the kind of that mindset I had, and I had to kind of take that and with some of the stuff you guys was teaching me and try to put it all together.
So talking about high school, from Jasper, Texas, correct? Yep. Was U of H one of your only offers, or how many offers did you have coming out?
No, man, recruiting for me was crazy. Honestly, man, my mom pretty much raised me and my brother the majority of our lives. My dad was kind of going through some things and was in and out of prison a couple times and just had some issues. And so when I went through the recruiting process, it was pretty much me and my mom, really. And she didn't really know anything about college football or recruiting or anything like that. And I remember University of Texas sending me I think it was an invite to a camp. I think it was maybe my junior year. And I remember I think either my coaches gave it to me, my mom gave it to me, and we missed the date. Like I didn't have anybody to take me to the camp. So I didn't make it to the camp, and I never received another letter from University of Texas after that point from missing that camp. And just in the process, I probably could have went to a lot of different schools, but for me, I wanted to stay close to home. Okay. And I knew Houston and like TCU were like some of the schools that were like super close. And before I even experienced any of the other schools, I, in my mind, pretty much narrowed it down to those two schools because they were the closest. But I really didn't have I wasn't open-minded in the process of recruiting.
Okay.
And those are the only two visits I took. I scheduled other visits, I think, to Baylor, I think Texas Tech, maybe Oklahoma State or something like that. And once I went to the TCU visit first, and then I went to the University of Houston visit, and he was my host on the visit.
Oh, God.
And it was during Super Bowl. It was during Super Bowl in 2000. Remember it like it was yesterday. It was during Super Bowl in 2004. And I think it was the Patriots.
And the Panthers.
Yeah. And I think one of the teams was practicing at University of Houston facility. And it was just a good time to be in Houston. I'd really never been in Houston. And, like, it was a good time to be in Houston. And once
you remember my shoes, man? You remember my shoes?
I don't. But I remember leaving that visit and just the impression he had made on me, and that, the city of Houston and the school had made on me. I knew, like, that's where I want to be. And I didn't go to any of the other visits.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was a closed-minded, like, approach to it. And now looking back, I probably wouldn't change it, honestly. I probably wouldn't change it because I love my school. I love, the struggles we had early on when I got to Houston. We lost a lot, but, it was a lot that I learned in the losing, and, just made a lot of brothers that, that I still look at as brothers this day, because we did a lot of losing together, but it was a lot of work that went into trying to win. And we knew every game we was giving our all, and even if we didn't win, we knew, like, okay, well, we exhausted ourselves. It wasn't much more I could have did or, he could have did, but, you just build those relationships along the way, and I probably wouldn't change it if I went back in the recruiting process.
Yeah, I've met some of you guys that y'all played together, and I think it's just like it's a really cool fraternity that you guys have that through the years, wherever your lives have taken y'all have always remained in contact, and like with Gully and B-Rob and Gaston and you, I just think that's real cool, man.
He still haven't came to see me play yet, though.
Oh man,
I'm gonna call him out right now. I'm gonna call him out right now.
That's true, man.
I went down that road.
I turned 34 this year, man, and you never know.
That's
you never
every
know.
year.
This might be the last year, but I tell him that every year, and then I end up
Where's your
playing
home
1 or 2
stadium?
more years.
Y'all's home stadium. Where is
in
it?
Edmonton, Alberta. So it's like West Canada.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't been there, but I do watch.
No, he keep up with me, but I just give him a hard time, man. I'm like, man, you got to find time to come watch me play, man.
Maybe we need to go down.
I'm a good host, man.
Yeah, we're gonna take the. I'm gonna go, man. Every year is this dang on youth football, dude.
But I know you're always busy with
This
the
guy
boys,
is
too.
full throttle.
I know it, man.
Man,
I know it. Every time I look online, I see they're into different sports and different things. And it's good that he's pushing them like that. And he's supporting them like that. They need that.
It's time. We gotta. We're gonna wrap it up with Coach Snelson, man. We told him we wouldn't keep him all night, but Coach, man, real quick, what are you guys looking like for the spring? And just a quick outlook. What last words you got for us?
I got you. We're gonna have a strong O-line. We got the best tight end in the country, class of 22.
What's his name?
Donovan Green.
Yeah,
he's
Donovan Green.
Yeah, he's got almost every offer. I mean, Alabama, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma.
You
Texas
just finished
A&M.
having one of the best tight ends in the country.
Absolutely.
Your son plays tight end. Send him to Dickinson.
Yeah, we're tight end you right now. Anyway, we'll be good there. We're going to be good in the backfield. We're going to have a quarterback battle. Marlon Allen and Graham Ledbetter are two juniors that are going to duke that out. We've got some talent off on the edges. Defensively, man, we've got to find a secondary. We got some candidates in there, but we're going to be young. We'll be young. So there's a little bit of pucker factor there, but we're going to find a way.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming out.
Man,
it's a little drive, so I appreciate you coming out on a Wednesday. I know you're busy.
Absolutely. Well,
We need
appreciate you guys.
We need to find a way to get field access to you guys' games to do interviews after the game.
Gotta get the
You
perks.
got it.
Yeah. We'll be talking
done.
soon.
I'll definitely be at that Katy game, front and center. And you're talking about having a good O-line. I pretty much don't watch any of the rest of that stuff. Like I watch the O-line and then I watch the play. Right. So the play doesn't happen for me. Like I'm not looking at. I don't know what formation you're in. I know you got 5 linemen. That my eyes go to that every game I watch. That's what I watch. So when you talk about good O-line play, I'll definitely be there.
Is there a location already for that Katy game?
We'll be there. First year is going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to figure out because our stadium's not going to hold it, man. Because whenever Katy comes to Dickinson, Galveston County's going to be off on our side, and Katy travels like crazy. So.
Get your ticket now.
So I mean, we're gonna be there first, and then we're gonna figure out where that second year is gonna be.
We definitely need to get some sideline passes.
Man, you got it.
Definitely.
Robert,
You got it.
We'll keep in contact.
You never, rest in peace, Kobe, man. You never make a shot, you don't shoot.
You gotta shoot the
You
shot.
gotta shoot it, man. Rest in peace, Kobe.
That's right.
All right, Coach. Well, we're gonna let you get out of here. Appreciate you
I
again.
appreciate you guys, man. Nice to meet you.
Very nice meeting you too, man.
Absolutely.
Good luck on the 2020
Best of luck.
season.
You guys. Yes,
Best
sir.
of luck.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you on the 2020 season. We'll
Thank
talk to you
guys.
soon.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Julio, as usual, when I come in here, my phone is dead. So
All the time.
can I get the charger? Robert, it is time. Coach is leaving probably at the right time because it's time for get it off your chest. This is our first time.
He says, "Let me get out of here."
This is the first time. Robert's gonna have to look online.
All these cookies left for me?
Yeah, all those cookies. You can take them to the kids, man. But in the next few minutes, Julio's going outside, but we're going to open up the phone lines. And for the next about 20 minutes, we're going to let everybody call in And whatever you got to say, man, get it off your chest. No jokes on me, or we'll cut you off. We'll hang up. But anything else you got to say, you know.
I'm shooting back. I'm telling you now. When you call in, I'm shooting back.
You make a joke, we're gonna look at your profile picture. We're gonna make a joke. I got an iPhone.
We gonna fire back.
What number we putting out?
I was gonna give mine, but
You want to give yours?
mine is dead. It's not gonna do very well.
We can.
Dickinson Gators, huh?
Yeah, man. Hey, man. All of y'all people in Dickinson, y'all got a good coach, man.
Yeah,
I'm
just
sorry.
the vibe I just got from him. I think he's a good one, man. You can tell when a guy is genuine good ball coach and like loves what he does, loves the relationship with the players. You can just tell like he's engulfed in it.
I had a total. Now I keep up with Dickinson. I'm from Texas City, so I don't really understand all the transferring from Dickinson. But that's just a personal thing, right? I'm from Texas City. We were the powerhouse down there with Lamarck. Dickinson was not a school that we really feared. So in my mind, it's like, why would you go to Dickinson when you can be at Texas City?
Right.
So that is a personal thing. But to hear, people talk like this guy's a bad coach. That guy is a guy you want running your pro.
That's a guy you want to send your kid to play for.
It seems like he's pretty organized. He knows what he wants.
Look, I damn near was like, damn, am I moving to Dickinson? Like that dude is a guy you want your kid to play for, man. So all of y'all that are making those comments or giving that guy a hard time, you need to shut up, man. That dude is that.
I second that.
For real,
seriously.
Man. That dude is the top of the line. You don't meet a lot of people that can sit in a room and you can feel like I feel like I want to play for.
That's
the
first time I ever met him. Like you said, that's a guy you want to send your kid to.
I never met him before.
Playing football, you want to.
My only opinion of him is what people say. Right. Like they're like, oh, he's not doing this. And they look, Dickinson has had some bad fortunes, dude. They lose early in the playoffs.
They lose to good teams though, man. It's not like it's like Dobie. Like people criticized them for a while. This year they had a good season, and then their only losses were to Atascocita and North Shore. I mean.
If you're gonna lose, who else would you?
Right?
Yeah,
what else do you want?
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's tough. Nobody wants to lose,
right?
But damn,
take it on your chin.
If you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose to powerhouses like that.
If my only loss on my record is Mayweather, like Canelo, you can't say Canelo sucks. His only loss is to Mayweather.
Hell no, I already told Johnny Will about this shit. Canelo is a beast.
Hey, Johnny Will's coming in a few weeks, man. So
he is.
What number are we gonna give him, man?
We are gonna give them.
We got to get into more talk with SirV.
Man, I don't get to see any high school football. Like my season is going on during that time.
Phone line is open.
About the good games.
Number is 713-703-5783. I feel like I messed that up right now.
Who? Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Who?
281-330-8004.
You know, when I was a kid, I called that. I got in trouble.
Was it a real line though?
It was like a voicemail.
Really?
Yeah, it was a voicemail.
I never called.
713-703.
Oh, we got one already. Got one.
Well, 1 second while we pull him up.
Hey, we will.
What's the number? Oh, man, what's the number?
My wife said, I'll start looking for realtors in the Dickinson area. You got it, mama. Hello, the Checkdown. Who's this?
This is Tristan Sanders. This is Coach T.
What's up, man?
Coach T. How you doing, bud?
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
Doing good. What you got?
Man, I just wanted to call on here. I got to, when I'm wrong, man. And I got some good points from Coach Snelson. And I got a whole flock of kids that's in the Dickinson program and moving through the Dickinson program. And a couple that graduated, I just got off the phone with one on a couple college visits that come out of Dickinson. But listening to what he said, is looking like we ain't preparing our kids for that struggle. And when they get to him, you got to get them ready for the struggle and try to win. So I think on our lower level, we got to do a better job of getting our kids ready to stop chasing trophies and start chasing ass whoopings.
Facts. We all want to be winners, man. But there's a bigger thing than winning. Just like I said, we went out there and lost this weekend. We lost that in that tournament.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like we lost. I didn't come out of that feeling like we lost because I feel like we had a bunch of players who hadn't experienced that before. Right. So you know, you don't know that you can be a champion until you're a champion, right? You don't know that you can do that until you fight through it. So that was our first step. You know, we don't got a lot of time to take step 2, step 3, step 4, but you can't be out here upset every time you lose, you know, or you take a step back. But you know, coach is hitting it on the nail on the head, and I'm sitting here in front of you and telling you I'm a culprit. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the guys who's doing that, man. As much as I push my kids, I baby them equally as much, you know. Same. And that's, you know, that's a fact. And you know, for a guy who's running one of the best programs in the state to tell us that he's getting kids that, you know, aren't being pushed, then, you know, we need to look in the mirror and figure that out. So
and we got to realize, you know, youth league, I understand there's a lot of people that's in here for other motives, but, you know, I'm one of the guys that's been out here back when it wasn't, you know, when daddies didn't come to the game and when it wasn't parents in the stands, right? So we got to get back to that, you know, because right now, hearing what he said, him being a high school coach and me being in his youth football, as long as I ever feel like I've let him down, you know, and a lot of these other coaches in here, we're not preparing our kids for that, and that's what we started out for. If we want some trophies, we want them. But I'm hearing people saying, well, I'm going to go here, try to win some trophies, then I'll go there. And we got mentalities like that, man. We just need to give it up, you know, and that's just me saying it, you know.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of our face. Stop wasting our time, man. If you're only here for that, man, you know.
Doing it for the wrong reason.
There's places for that kind of stuff.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
Hey, before we let you go, Tristan, hey, man, I don't take selfies all the time, man. I had to get a picture of them because we usually get pictures of our guests. So that's,
you got to be cooler, though, Rob. You was like,
you know what?
Right there. You gotta
I was
be
like,
subtle.
I was like, I don't know how else I'm going to do it, so I'm just going to do it. Hey, we appreciate you calling in, though, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Right.
Hey, we're going to have to get you on here as well soon. We'll talk.
Yeah, y'all let me know, man. Tell Roy share some of them cookies, man. Had them cookies here options.
My arms are too small to reach over there, so.
Shots fired, man.
All right, bud. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
What we got next, man? Awesome. We will hang up in y'all's face, too, so don't think you're going to call in.
This guy's X-rated over here, man.
We will hang up in your face and leave you talking to Siri or whoever you got. Anybody?
Phone line is back open if you guys want to call in. We're gonna do this for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. But we can talk, man. You know, we were supposed to start off the show. I guess we don't have to do a moment of silence, but
yeah, my fault.
You know, we forgot to start the show off with I know y'all. There's been an overload on it on the news, but you know that's the kind of stuff that happens when somebody like that passes away. But you know, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, man. You know, a legend, not just in basketball, but just in general. You know, Kobe. Anybody who, if you know sports, you know the name Kobe Bryant. So that's a big deal. You know, It's a tough topic. You know, I grew up a Spurs fan, so for the most part of Kobe's career, I hated Kobe.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I was the same way. I grew up a Shaquille O'Neal fan, and the only time I really was just a fan, I always respected his game, but the only time I would say I was a fan was when Shaq was there, and then the way Shaq exited, it was like more reason not to really like Kobe because of, you know, how Shaq left the Lakers, but. You know, you always respect his game. And then, you know, I became a LeBron fan. So I never really was just a Kobe fan, but you always knew, like, all right, that man might be the closest thing to Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you knew that you respected his game from afar, man. It just was alarming.
What's y'all's
hearing that, man.
Sorry to cut you off. No. What's y'all's take on the NBA logo getting changed?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't think?
It's been the same so long, man. Who is it? Jerry West?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? Yeah, he's still living. No.
Yeah, I think that's a knee-jerk reaction right away. You're like, oh, change the logo. You know, that's a reaction.
It's a cool thing. I think it's like 1 million petitions or something like that for it to be changed.
I signed it.
I mean, it's a cool thing to get that much support for Kobe, but just understanding the background of the NBA, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It'd be cool if they did it, but I don't think the NBA wants to tie itself to one player, one team.
I mean, but
all of that stuff.
And even if you want to play devil's advocate and go the other way with it, he definitely was a greater Laker than Jerry West was as a player.
Yeah.
And Jerry West is a logo, but I don't think Jerry West is top 5 all time.
Is he the greatest Laker ever?
Or top
Kobe?
Kobe. Is he the greatest Laker ever?
Man, that's a tough one.
Man, it's him or Magic.
Yeah.
Him or Magic. So it's just.
What about Kareem?
Depends on the era. You think Kareem, man.
Yeah. But Kareem played other places.
Yeah,
True.
So you have to say out of him and Magic. So then I think it goes to which era you grew up in.
Yeah. That's where it always goes back to. That's where the Jordan and the LeBron James is.
It's like that, with me and my uncles, man. They are big time. My uncle's a Dr. J fan. And he used to always tell me, Michael Jordan's not that good. And I'm like, dude.
I heard that, though. I've heard that.
I know, but I
have an uncle that says that, too. I'm like, I've seen highlights on Dr. J, man.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was juiced up like that. So he looked like he can.
I just don't think he can score the ball like Jordan.
Yeah,
or defend like Jordan.
I saw a video the other day though of Jordan, and then they switch it back with Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Identical, same mannerisms, everything crazy. The same.
Kobe Bryant watched that film, bro, and he broke it down.
Yes.
Everything was just like Jordan.
I think we got a call in right now.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you after this caller. Let's see what they got to say.
All right.
Good.
Hello, the Checkdown. Who's this?
This is Damon Hall.
What's up, Damon Hall? That's my buddy. What's up, Damon? How you doing, man?
What's up, Roy, man?
Nothing
How
much.
y'all doing? Hey, man, I was going to tell y'all, man, y'all doing a good thing, man. I like the show. I watched it last week, and y'all doing real good, man. I'm glad to see my boy up there doing big things.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, bud.
I was over there by your house the other day, and two of your neighbors are my little football players, man. Sergio and Maximus, right across the street.
Right across the street,
right across
I know they dad.
Yep, man.
Yeah.
So they've been playing ball with us this winter, man. Those kids are giants. They're gonna be some ball players. So.
Yeah, that dad's pretty big, man. I think he played 1 year at Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken. But he always got him out in the yard working out or whatever. Sir B, I want to tell you, man, I never met you, but, I've been knowing Roy since he first got out of college. We ended up working together. And, man, he always talk high of you, man. He always talking about my boy Sir V and stuff like that. So, he really got mad respect for him.
Man, that's love, man. Like I said, he hosted me on my visit to Houston, and I felt like, he was instantly a brother of mine. And, I probably called him and bugged him before I ever even stepped one foot on campus. And it may have not been as personal to him at the time, but the impact he had on my life, it was one of the reasons I came to Houston. And the friendship we developed was always genuine. And I've definitely always looked at him as a brother ever since I got to Houston, man. So I definitely good to hear that it's, mutual on both sides.
I was supposed to take Sir V to the Kappa. That
is one thing he promised me on my visit. He was like, "Yeah, man,
I was gonna take him to the
Kappa time." I was like, "Yeah, I've never been." He's like, "Yeah, I'll take you." And I was bugging him, man. I think I probably called him a couple times or a few times trying to see it. It was one of those things where he had hosted me, but he probably never had any intention of developing a relationship, and we just naturally got cool once I got to Houston. But I was, he was an upperclassman. I was a freshman coming in. He probably was hosting just for the sake of hosting and didn't really plan on connecting with me in that way, but he had impacted my life whether he knew it or not.
Man,
and
I'm gonna tell you.
To him, I looked at him like, that's a friend of mine now, and we weren't even really friends yet. But in my eyes, from just the way he hosted me on the visit and gave me the ins and outs and was just real with me on the visit. In my eyes, I was like, all right, that guy's gonna be a friend of mine. That's somebody I look up to instantly. And from there, it was just once I got on campus, like I said, he probably had no intentions of ever connecting with me in that way. But once I got on campus, it was just kind of one of those things. It just kind of became brothers.
When I'm hosting, when you're hosting, right? You don't know if that guy's gonna come or stay. So you're just trying to get him to come. But once y'all come, everybody who I hosted, once they came, I was cool. I was cool with them. So, but me and Sir V, I had about a 90% host rate though. Like everybody I hosted came, man. I didn't lie to them.
That Kappa.
Sound like you're ready to hide you on the recruit, man.
Hey, if y'all want me, man, come get me. I'm over here at the Checkdown, baby.
I'm gonna tell you, Sir V, when I first met him, man, we was at work, man, and we used to work with some bad kids or whatever. I ain't gonna get into that, but the first time I seen him, he walking through, man, he looked mean. I'm like, man, what this big old dude they done hired come up in here, working up in here. But then when I talked to him, man, just like you said, I was like, man, that dude gonna I'm gonna be cool. He's gonna be my friend. You know what I mean? And we've been real, good friends ever since, man. He done helped me out, in hard times or whatever, man. And Roy's a real good dude, man. Great father, great husband. And I'm proud to call him a friend of mine.
Hey, man, don't gas me up, man. Y'all gonna have people thinking too highly of me, man.
I just want to say one more thing, man, before I ain't gonna hold y'all here too long. Man, y'all gonna do something with the basketball? Because I'm an AAU basketball coach, man. So y'all gotta,
it's in the works.
Flip it over on the basketball season. Huh?
Hey, look,
it's in the works right now.
Football season go dry out in a minute, and we'll get you and some of these other basketball guys on here and let y'all take up some time, man, and talk about basketball. We're here we're here for football for this show, but really we're here for the for the youth and to get people seeing, everything. Like, if we got a bunch of people who like to play basketball, we want them on the best organization. And you provide. SirV's got a daughter. She about 6'9" too. So, SirV, she's not 6'9", but she tall. How tall is
she's probably 5'6", 5'7" in the 6th grade.
Yeah, SirV got a pretty tall daughter, and she's hooping. So this is a connection we need to make after the.
We need to make that connection. Sixth grade, she gonna have a growth spurt coming. She gonna be over 6.
Both
and,
with
girls,
over 6 feet.
Anything over 6 foot, that's like 7 foot on the board. You know what I mean? So 6 foot are cherished, man. On the girls side, I coach girls basketball, and so yeah, man. I just want to throw that out there, man. Sometime get us in there, and maybe I can get my old high school coach who won back-to-back state. For Silsby, I know SirV might know Jasper Silsby got an old rivalry go way
back. Good basketball, man.
That's where I play.
What highway come out?
I may get coach out here too.
Hey, the best thing come out of Silsby is Highway 96.
Man, Silsby back when I was in high school, Silsby was playing good basketball. I don't know if they still are, but they were playing good basketball.
Back-to-back state
Back to playing good football too.
Football too?
Yeah,
well, we used to kill them in football.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna talk about
that. They finally got the football turnaround, but most of a basketball town, and but a couple years ago we won back-to-back, but the coach actually been there 7 times, and it's kind of like what y'all talking about, the coach from Dickinson. A lot of people were talking down on him that, he can't coach. And, I stuck by. I was like, hey, man, it ain't the coach. It's on the players, man. You got to get the players to close it out. We could never get by Port Arthur Lincoln, So when he finally got them boys that could take it all the way, they won back-to-back. So not everybody loved him. But, at one time they was talking down and they fired him. And he came back. They fired him and went down. Then when he came back, they got tough again and they won back-to-back. So, a lot of times a lot of people got their personal opinions, like he was saying, but a lot of times it's not on the coach. I feel like sometimes it's on the players, to take that responsibility and step up and do what they're supposed to do. Because his system been the same system, man, for over 30 years. So it wasn't him, So
sure,
I just want to put that out there, man. But I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Y'all doing a great job, man. And like I say, Roy, whenever you get a chance, man, just let me know, and I'm gonna get some of my basketball people up there with y'all.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right, y'all take care.
Yes, sir. You too.
Yeah, he was talking about Silsby, and he mentioned Port Arthur Lincoln, man. At one point, all of those schools in our district in high school, we used to smack all of them in football.
Yeah, but Port Arthur Lincoln was bad.
They were good.
They was cold at basketball.
Oh, in basketball? Yeah, football, we used to.
How's Jasper now? You keep up with them?
Yeah, so 2 years ago they were undefeated and then got beaten. I think the 4th round of the playoffs.
Okay.
In which
what are they?
They lost to a team that they had beaten the regular season. I think they lost to West Orange Start.
Oh, okay.
And then this past season, I think they lost in the first round and. Things kind of went downhill this past season. I really don't know what's going on down there, man. Like I say, I'm away during the season when high school football is going on, so it's hard to kind of keep up with it. But I don't know, man. Something's going on in Jasper. We just haven't been having that success like we had when I was coming through.
Yeah. Hello, the Checkdown. Who's this?
Man, it's Coach TJ with the Pearland Hurricanes.
Hey, what's up, TJ?
Up,
How you doing?
Man,
hey, hold on. Hey, don't be calling up here with no attitude, man. How you doing, TJ?
Man, I'm good, man. Y'all, hey, man, I love the show, man.
We appreciate it.
I just got one quick question for SirV.
Yes, sir.
What's up, boss?
SirV, man, what's the deal, man? I got a question, man. I got a growing high school football player, and he don't understand about nutrition and eating the right way. So I'm just trying to get some, maybe some wisdom on what I can tell him, because I feel like he don't understand that I've been there before. But his nutrition and what he eating, what he putting in his body, I need him to understand that that's just as important as what he doing on the field.
Hey, you don't see that big plate of cookies next to Sarah?
Man, Roy that slid the plate of cookies beside me, trying to throw me under the bus. But, man, honestly, man, when I was growing up, I really didn't understand that stuff either, man. I think, I was just so active that, fortunately I didn't have any health issues because I know my nutrition wasn't good. But, I just try to keep stressing to him, like, man, if you got a goal and, it's something you want to get to, it's something you got to think about. And even just period, man, like if we don't get these kids eating habits changed, they're going to have these health issues early on in life in their early 30s. And I think that's something that we need to address in America anyway. So it's just, you got to try to get him to understand that, he has great things ahead of him. And part of that is him being healthy and taking care of his body. One thing in professional sports, you work with your body. And, we're told to take care of our body as if, that we use it for work. So you got to look at it that way as an athlete. I work with my body. I have to take care of this as my prized possession.
I agree.
As he's devouring the cookie, he's agreeing with me. But, nah, man, you work with your body as an athlete. And if you want to perform at, peak performance, then you have to be, conscious of what you're putting in your body, because what you put in your body is going to determine the outcome of what you're able to put out. And that's just the reality of it. So if you're going to put junk in your body, when it's time to perform, at some point it's going to catch up to you. You're going to, perform like that. So if you want to be performing at peak performance, you better be certain of what you're putting in your body and, trying to do as best you can with your health and your eating habits and your diet.
Yeah, and that's, that was the biggest thing with me. Like, growing up, he was always the bigger kid. He was bigger than everybody. And now, he kind of an undersized player. And I'm just trying to get him to understand that, he got to get his intake up, and it's about what we put in our body.
Right.
And while I got y'all on air, hope to, hey, go Mavs. We're going to make it happen. But, yeah, I just wanted him to hear that. I made him sit here and listen to it. So, man, I appreciate
that. Was a manful plug.
We riding with Shadow Creek over here. With no plex or nothing. My wife is the head track, female track coach at Shadow Creek, so I'm riding with the Creek.
Man. Hey, y'all 6A, man. We 5, hey. We ain't no.
Okay.
All
right,
we
go
all
Mavs then. Go Mavs.
Happy for them.
Go
when
Mavs.
they won, we ain't gonna hate on nobody.
That's what's up. Go Mavs then. We're gonna keep it love then.
Hey,
TJ, man.
I love y'all.
I really appreciate it, man. I love the show.
Appreciate it.
I love y'all, man. But you can't call lineman asking about nutrition.
You talking to the right guy, man.
This why because my kid is a kid that need to pick some way up. He ain't out here just one of these sloppy kids who just ain't being healthy.
Right.
He got to gain some weight.
Right, I got you.
Nah, but Survey do a good job, man. Every year he working out on his own, so and doing that, he got a lot of discipline. So I watch him every year come home and at 24-hour fitness every night of the week, working out. So him and little Kiki.
Yeah. Man, you got to connect, man. It's supposed to be having concerts and everything, man.
No, he ain't lying, man. I was in there getting it one day, man. I seen little Kiki in there, man. And I had to put him on my Snapchat. I was so surprised. When I'm in the gym, I'm thinking, it's 24 hours. Fitness is so big. I can come in and get my work, man, not worried. But I don't like talking to people when I'm working out. I don't like interacting. So I come in a hoodie or something, and I'm just trying to get in and get out. But I see little Kiki, and I'm feeling like a fan at that point. I'm almost ready to go ask him let's freestyle. I almost asked him, like, hey, let's start a freestyle session. But nah, he ain't lying, man. I have seen him in there at least a handful of times.
If you would have got the freestyle session going, man, you would have had to put that on live. You couldn't.
That's what I'm saying, man. I catch Kiki in there again. I'm gonna put him on Snap, and I'm gonna put him on the spot. Like, Kiki, what you got for me?
Yeah, tell him, man, you got to earn his pay tonight. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, man. All right, I'm going to let y'all go, man. I know somebody else probably should have called.
All right, appreciate it, TJ.
One more.
We'll talk to you soon.
One more, man. Then y'all gotta leave us alone.
We'll take one more phone call.
He is nervous about these calls. Why you so nervous about these calls?
Because it's getting closer to home.
Why you so nervous about the calls, man? You a good stand-up guy, man. I know you don't want to get picked on. That's the main thing.
I don't want to get picked on.
I already know, bro.
I was about to ask you something right before he called. Dang, man, I had a question.
Got sidetracked about that cookie, huh?
Man, that cookie, man. Boy called a lineman asked for nutrition out there.
Man. But you heard what he said, though. In his case, and I thought he was talking about the kid eating unhealthy, but he was saying that the kid is trying to gain healthy weight.
Yeah.
His kid is not a sloppy kid. He's just undersized. And so, I get it. It's tough.
He played linebacker. Good kid, man.
Yeah.
Probably got to go to
good
try to
kid,
go to supplement.
good attitude, everything.
Really? Probably got to go the supplement route, which I'm not too versed on that. I've been doing this the natural way. I'm about to be 34, and I really don't have a supplement regimen. I need to, start doing that toward this part of my career.
Boy called it. Yeah, this is TJ. Pearland Hurricanes.
Hey, man, take
What's
some
up?
of that bass out your voice.
TJ played with us 1 year at U of H.
Really?
TJ Scranton.
Oh, yeah,
Played
that was
receiver.
TJ.
Yep, that was
Okay. I remember we used to call him
Scantron.
TJ Scantron.
Yeah.
I remember TJ. Man.
His name's
Good dude.
Scranton. We used to call
Good
him
guy,
TJ
man.
Scantron.
Good guy.
He played at Baylor, right?
Yep, he
Good
left
guy,
with
man.
Baylor.
So he left you guys and went to Baylor?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Jump ship with Arthur Browse. Shout out to Coach Browse.
Shout out to
That's
Coach
my guy,
Browse.
man. Shout out to Orbeezy.
So what do you guys think about Super Bowl? You guys watch the Pro Bowl?
I
didn't watch
watched
it.
it.
I won't lie. I didn't watch
I watched
Super
the
Bowl.
challenge the day before.
I saw the
That was
dodgeball
good.
game.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Dude, what's his name from the dang on Landry?
Jarvis Landry.
Dude, that dude's hands are crazy.
Dude,
It's
they
crazy.
are crazy.
He had two balls. Saw the guy about to throw at him,
Dropped
him,
him.
and caught it. I was like,
He
man,
set
all right,
that up.
that's
He set
impressive.
that up. Yeah, I'm good. You can give it back. It'll last the rest of the time.
I was like, that's impressive, man.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that dang on that dodgeball. He was dropping the balls on purpose to make people throw it to him, and then he caught it. So it's like, dude,
Yeah,
that's really cheating. Or is it cheating?
I don't think it is. It's part of the rules. You catching the guys out.
Got a question
You
for
know,
you,
if you
Roy.
know that's your skill set, then
Oh, question for me, man.
Got a
Let's
question.
go.
Roy, what is your take on linemen and track?
So my kids are avid shot put throwers. We throw shot put. We practice 3 times a week. We go and do it. It's a way to keep your kid active. If he's not doing powerlifting, if he's not doing, for me, track was a way to make sure my grades stayed where they were supposed to be. Because a lot of people play football, and that's the only thing they play, and then their grades start to decline in the spring semester.
Because they ain't got nothing to play
Because
for.
they don't have nothing to do those grades for. But right now, like I heard somebody saying it the other day, people used to just shoot for a 2.5 and an 820. Well, people aren't accepting that anymore, right? So nobody wants a barely qualifier. Like nobody wants a 250 and an 820. People want a 2.5 and 820. People want a 3.5, a 3.0, and 1,000. Well, the numbers are different, but they want a 1,500. They want a higher SAT score. So track for me was for the purpose of doing shot put was to keep my grades and keep my scores up. So I had something to compete. I had something to pass for, and plus, I like going to track meets because if you go to track meets, who's at the track meets? Athletes of which sex? Females.
yeah, obviously.
So
that's my reason to do track.
I love track, dude. You get to sit out there, you throw the shot put 3 times and
And you
lose.
chill
and then
all day long.
I used to hold blocks. That's what I used to do.
I did it not to be idle that time of the year, like you said.
I see why he used to hold blocks.
Hey, hold the blocks, man. But on a serious note, I think you should keep your kids. And my kids turned out. My older son definitely turned out to be way better at shot putting than I thought. He's done good for the last 2 years, and we're in year 3.
He's nationally ranked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's doing
Shout out RJ.
great,
RJ.
and
He's a great kid. He's just like, what's up? Like he's just him and Royce are. I think they're completely opposite.
Yep, they are.
Royce is just like what he told me straight up at CCE. I was like, hey, what's up? He said, y'all about to lose. I was like, what? Y'all are about to lose. Why? What's up? We got a good team.
And we were terrible.
Really?
But
And then I see RJ. He's just like, What's up?
I admire both of them because they both work, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I seen them last year working when you had the groups working, and both of those kids seem like they work, man. And I admire that about them. I got to get that out of my kids.
They do the work, man. I'm hoping it pays off.
It will, man. It will.
Yeah. Back to that question. Definitely, especially your son, he needs to be in shot put throwing because that's an extra chance for a scholarship, right? So there's not a lot of sports for big guys. Once you start getting in that 300-pound range, you're not going to be a baseball player. You're not going to be a basketball player unless you're 7 foot tall. So you got two avenues. You're going to be an offensive lineman. You're going to be a shot put thrower. So don't limit these big guys to just playing football and blocking people. Let them go throw the shot put. Let them try it out.
Right.
We got we throw for the All-American throwers. So I think we got the best throwing team probably in the nation. We got some of the best throwers in the nation, some of the best high school throwers. So that's a shameless plug. But if y'all want to get the big guys throwing, man, get them out there. And I used to run when I was in high school. So before track, we would do the dynamic stretches, right? So I would warm up with the runners, do the first lap or whatever with the runners, and then we would go and throw. So it wasn't like we just didn't do anything. We ran, we kept in a little bit of shape, and then we threw shot put. So, and I would stretch every track meet with the guys when they were warming up, doing high knees around the tracks. Those were my friends. So, it helped keep me in shape. It helped keep my grades up. It helped everything with me. So, it's a good deal to do it. So, that's my answer to that.
Joining us in the studio is Junior Mahomes.
Hey, you saw the glasses.
Our wind-up media producer. He's also the host for the Wind-Up podcast.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, Coach Snelson and SirVincent right here, man, just spitting knowledge, bro. I've been enjoying it. I've been in the room listening to it, trying to put baby Jace to sleep because we know he gets loud. So,
Yeah.
man, appreciate you guys coming out, man. It's really informative. Loving it. Try some of the cookies, bro.
Man. Yeah, we had one, man. If I eat anything more than one, it'll just give Roy too much ammo.
Hey, we both, y'all don't know it, but we both counting how much the other one. Hey, he ate one.
1,000%.
I could eat one more before he got to eat another one before I could eat another one. Because I'll hear about this.
I'll likely get one more on the way out.
I still haven't had one yet.
But
you chewing, Rob?
I am.
Man, they're good, dude. You missing out.
They are good.
That plate will be empty some kind of way before we leave. I don't know how it's gonna be empty.
I know.
It's gonna be empty before we leave. But man, Sir, so you played in two Grey Cups, right?
In Ottawa, we went to 3 Grey Cups. And won one. I played in 2 of those 3. I was hurt for one of them. Unfortunately, I was hurt for the win. But I got hurt I think it was that year was 12 games in. I broke my leg, broke my lower leg, and missed the last part of the season, and had to kind of leave from the sidelines, man. And it was still a cool thing to do, but you definitely love to be in the game. But yeah, man, have been accustomed to going to Grey Cups since I left Ottawa. My 4 years in Ottawa.
How's that experience? How's that week? When you're playing in the Grey Cup, your team is there. How is that week compared to any other football experiences?
It's fun, man. The first Grey Cup I went to, I was fortunate enough to also be nominated for the most outstanding lineman in the league. And so that week for me was kind of hectic because that was in the back of my mind. I literally found out I was nominated, I think, going into the first round of the playoffs. And by the time we got to the Grey Cup, I was the finalist for the East Division up against a guy from the West, Alafoye, a good friend of mine. Shout out Alafoye. And he wasn't playing in the game, so, he could travel to the Grey Cup just for the awards and, enjoy the week of festivities and all of that stuff. But for me, I'm practicing every day and, locked in on a game plan on how we're going to, attack this team. And also in the back of my mind, it's like, you're up for this award. And it's like, it's the first time I had ever thought about being the best, at it. You play to be the best, but you don't play to be crowned individually. You want to be in that championship game in a team aspect. So once it got to that point and it was like, all right, you got to go to this award ceremony and either you're going to win or lose, my mind was on it. And I didn't like that really because, you know, I wanted to focus on the game. I wanted to win the Grey Cup. That was more important to me. And I went to the award show and I ended up winning, man, and it was a good time. My wife got to experience that with me, and that was a fun experience. And then it was like you got to like lock back in because the Grey Cup's in 2 days.
Yeah.
Or whatever, man. One of the coldest games I played in, man. And we got in that game and we were up early and we got off to a pretty good start. And we ended up losing the game. We had led the entire game.
Trash.
We had led the entire game. And I'll let him talk about what happened in that game. So nobody will say I'm making excuses, but we had led the entire game. And I think it got down to like the last 3 minutes, and they were able to take the lead, and we were never able to get the lead back with that amount of time on the clock, and we ended up losing by 6, man. And it was a tough loss, but I'll let Roy kind of give you the backdrop on, you know, how they were able to get back into the game. But that week was a week of festivities, man. I didn't get to do a lot of stuff because you're playing in the game, so you don't get to really enjoy the festivities. But just knowing that you're going to play for a championship and, you know, the atmosphere that Sunday is something to look forward to, and it's fun, man. It's like the Canadian version of the Super Bowl. And the same way, you know, everybody fly all over the country to come for the Super Bowl. It's the same way in Canada for the Grey Cup. You got people who have season tickets for a certain team, but they also have tickets to the Grey Cup just in confidence that their team is going to be there. And if not, then they'll just go and enjoy the festivities. Wow. And so it's a real big, it's a big game just like the Super Bowl, and it's a fun time, man. It is. But what happened in that game? How were they able to get back in the game? You remember?
So yeah, I remember. What I remember is a reviewed pass interference call,
which now has become a rule in the NFL. It was a rule that we had in the CFL that is now an adopted rule in the NFL now.
The NFL never overturns it.
They never do. But a coach can challenge it.
Yeah, but they overturned it. It would have been
like 3 of them.
Downs,
it was like 3 of them,
and they kept
three
doing
big pass interferences
back to back
chunk yards, man.
And what is it? If you punt, they get a point. What is it?
If you kick the ball out the back of the end, like through the back of the end zone on a kickoff or a punt, it's a point. It's called a rouge.
Yeah, so they got a point. So the game is tied, I think, or Serbia and them are winning. And I just see them get a point, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did they give him a point for nothing?
So if you kick a long field goal and you know your kicker's gonna miss it, but he has the leg, if he kicks it out the back of the end zone, it's at least a point, even if he misses. It's a point.
Yeah. So that happened, and then they backdoored and called those like back-to-back reviewed pass interference calls. Like they didn't call it on the field and they reviewed it. And they got it. And it was like, man, it just started going downhill. Like the refs took over the game, dude. They took over the game and they let them win. But that was crazy, man. So
hey, I heard something about that. The XFL, they're coming out with these crazy rules. Like I heard that the wide receivers they can flinch at the line of scrimmage or something like that. Did y'all hear something like that?
What do you think I don't know, man. I think the XFL will be a good opportunity because you know the NFL is only so many jobs, and you have. Like I said, the NFL is the best athletes in the world. That's the top 1% of athletes in the world. And then you got the next 1 or 2% of guys that are probably elite athletes too. And so it's like, okay, either I'm going to keep waiting around for opportunities in the NFL or, you know, I'm going to go up to Canada. And, you know, once you go up to Canada, you're locked into a 2-year contract. I think the XFL offers an opportunity for guys to stay home here in the States and pursue a football career and not have to worry about going out of the country and play and still possibly have opportunities to get back in the NFL. I think it's going to be different rules. You have to try to find some kind of gimmick because you cannot compete with the NFL. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be a football league, you got to find a different angle to market the league because, you know, if you're just playing straight up traditional football, everybody's going to pick the NFL over that. So you have to have some kind of gimmick that's going to draw the typical fan from the NFL to the XFL, in which I think the first go around they had like this. It was like a
nickname.
It was like a gun. Yeah, you could put a nickname on the back of the jersey. And it was like, you know, for the coin toss, it's like a run and start, like I don't know, like throw up tackle for the whoever gets the ball and go to start with the ball. So you got to have some kind of gimmick to try to get the fans into the game. But when it boils down to it, it's going to be football. I don't know what that new rule is. It may be similar to the like
the rules of our motions. We can do all kind of crazy motions.
You guys get that running start, right?
Yeah, but it can come. The motions can literally come from anywhere. But you still have to have, for it to be a legal formation, you still have to have certain guys on and off the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And so,
is the XFL something that you would like to be interested in?
Man, if the XFL was afloat at the time that I first went into the CFL, I probably would have took the XFL opportunity instead, because I went to the CFL just as the next best opportunity to play football. Mm-hmm. I had stints in the league at the time that was called the UFL, the United Football League, and it had just folded because of financial reasons, the same way the AAFL just did. Mm-hmm. And I was just, looking for the next best opportunity to play football. I had played arena football the same year, and I knew just financially I couldn't play another year of arena football. It was a good way for me to get back into football and get film and just get back acclimated to playing and just get my name back out there. But I knew financially I couldn't play another year of arena football. And so, yeah, if the XFL was around at that time, I probably would have opted to play or pursue that league instead of Canada, just to stay home and try to, continue to work on. But now I'm going to be 34 this year, and I've pretty much established myself in the CFL. And at this point, I think I'm going to ride it out, man, and just, try to see how many more Grey Cups I can win on this journey out, and just live with what I've done there, just because I've established myself there and put so much into my career there.
So you've been playing football for a while. So after football, what's next?
I definitely have to be around sport, man. I have to be around the game, I think. For me, for most people, you work starter jobs or whatever it is, it's, you're trying to find ways to propel into the next aspect of that particular field. And for me, I wouldn't want to, put all this time into building a resume in football and then start all over in a different career. And honestly, just my passion is sport, and I know I have to be around sport in some form or fashion, whether it be coaching. I don't know if it would be high school level, college, if I pursue college, if I pursue professionally, if I pursue even maybe coaching in the CFL, I don't know. But I'm also interested in, like, sports radio. I'm interested in sports commentary and things like that. I think those are avenues as well, and whatever it takes to get those opportunities, I'd probably be interested in that. But I definitely have to be around sport, man. I'm a sport guy. Yeah. I've devoted the majority of my life to sport, and at this point, I'd be a fool not to use that resume and just continue to build on that resume.
Of course.
So. Coach Snelson said, "Don't forget your why." That's a big thing, dude.
But that's when I looked at him and I was like, man, this dude is he's one of the good ones. I don't really know much about him, but just from the vibe I got from him in the room, it was like, that's a guy I would send my kid to.
Even talking to him before we went on.
And the fact that he came here, Coach Snelson. So first of all, for all you guys, we do this off of sending out messages, asking people, and I've sent out 100 emails. Mm-hmm. Right, Coach Snelson. I sent Coach Snelson an email last Wednesday at 10:30 when I left here. He answered me at 5 a.m. the next morning.
That's
told
dope,
me he was
man.
coming.
That's dope. That's dope.
And he communicated with me the whole time. Whatever you need, I'm there. When he pulled up, he called my phone. He did this on his own. So don't think we went out and we knew him. We don't have any personal relationship with him.
First time meeting him tonight.
Now all the other guys that have been here, I know those guys personally. This guy came in here, and I wanted him to come in here because in our group, I see a lot of people dogging him. Right, I see a lot of people that are dogging his performance and dogging who he is. Me being from Galveston County, I want to see, this is the guy who basically he holds Galveston County's key in his hand. He's got the key to the city or key to the county. And I wanted to hear who he was, And sitting here around this dude, and this is not because he was here, I firmly believe that I don't think y'all can find any better.
Right.
That you're not going to do much, hey, losing the North Shore, it might be tough, or losing the second round, it might be tough. But you got the leader.
You got your guy.
You do your part. Do your part.
Yeah, you got to buy in.
You got to do your part, man.
Oh, yeah.
But,
good
awesome
guy. I mean, that's the first time meeting him, so he was
and
stuff we were saying before.
And I grew up with his son.
Okay.
So we were younger, so I got to see that the 4th, 5th grade Bo Snelson. I'm telling you, man, when you talk about a dedicated, focused kid, he had it, and you could tell that, his dad's doing a hell of a job raising him, man. And now he's taking over. I know Coach Snelson coached here at Pasadena Memorial, which is like just the high school right there. Right and now he's over there at Dickinson doing great things. So shout out to them, man. I know Bo's watching, so shout out to Bo.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Bo, man. He said Bo was the toughest kid he coached.
Yeah.
And
man, I'm telling you, with 5th grade, this dude would pick his shirt up. He had a full-blown 12-pack. We had no idea, and there's some legendary stories that we've heard about him, about 5 a.m. workouts and stuff. But I will let Coach Snelson talk about that next time he comes by, man. So it should be exciting.
I wanted to ask Coach. His story was good. We see a lot of these coaches with their sons at quarterback, right? And I want to know how do you get to that point to where your son's the quarterback of the team, and what do you feel like the other. Like, because that's a position that just one person can play it.
Right.
His son's the running back. If his son doesn't do so hot at running back, push the backup in, there could be a little bit of controversy. But if the backup's not doing any greater, then there's no controversy, right? You got multiple backs. But at quarterback, the backup never gets the opportunity. Right? So if the quarterback loses the game, or the quarterback's not that good, the team suffers. The fans want to know why the backup never got that opportunity. Every other position on the field, there's another person, right? There's a second guy that gets to come in. So the second string running back, if he's not busting out 80-yard touchdowns, my son is the best you got, right? So the quarterback position, I think a lot of these coaches throw their son at the quarterback and they hide him there, and they just live with their failure or success. So I wanted to ask him about that, like how he felt about those guys playing that position, because that seems to be the position they throw.
How old is his son?
He's the same age as me.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be a year older than me, but we grew up together. Yeah.
One thing that he said that I thought was cool, he said that when he sat his son down and asked him what his goals were, and he told him he wanted to play D1 football, he said he then told his son, "You're gonna have to let us coach you, basically harder than I'm coaching everybody else, because I can't have the team looking at me like I'm giving you something."
He didn't sugarcoat.
He didn't sugarcoat. I respect that, man. Like having kids of my own, and you know how it is. Like when you're dealing with your own kids, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but for his son to be as dedicated as everybody makes it seem, like that's
on his own.
Yeah, on his own. Like where does that come from? I should have asked him that, but
that's crazy, man.
So what y'all got, man? Who you got this weekend?
Man, you know who I got. I got the
Junior Mahomes over here. Come on now.
The Mahomes on. Yeah, I got the Chiefs, man. I've been riding that bandwagon since I saw them come back live from a 24-0 hole in Kansas City. Just Patrick Mahomes just slice up the Texans the way he did. So I'm
slice and dice.
I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs, but I think the game's gonna be a lot closer than a lot of people. I know I predicted a blowout last week.
What did you pick, like 56 to 17 or
yeah,
something?
It was like 55 to 17, but I'm gonna change my pick. As far as the score goes, I got Chiefs, man.
Sir?
I don't have a dog in this race. We both Cowboys fans.
Robert too.
Him too. Oh, yeah, go Cowboys.
We need to get him on full time. We're taking over.
Honestly, man, I can see this game going probably one or two ways. I think if KC comes out and like that offense gets going, it could be a long day in that aspect. But I also think if the 49ers come out and control the pace, and KC's not really clicking right away, and the 49ers control the time possession and things like that, I think they can make it hard on them, man. I'm gonna ride with Jimmy G, man. I think these are the games where you go out and get a quarterback like that. Like they really haven't asked that of him to put everything on his shoulders, and they've relied heavy on the run game. But I think games like this are the games where you have a guy like that in your back pocket where you haven't really showed it all year, but he has the skill set to sling it around if you just cut him loose. I could see him coming out and having a big game, and then everybody after this saying, "Oh, he's in that elite category all of a sudden." But he's had that skill set all along. Yeah. They just don't ask that of him. He just runs the offense, and he seems like a game manager. But like he could sling it 40 times like everybody else if they asked him to do that. So I could if they control the time possession, or if Jimmy G comes out and like has the game that I think he could just come out and have a breakout game, I'm probably pick the 49ers, man.
We already picked. We both picked 49ers.
You picked 49ers too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any of y'all think
that defense, man?
Yeah, the D line.
Like, I always look at the front seven. Like when I watch football, I look at the O line and the front seven. I really don't see an O line that can contain what they do up front. Like they play so physical as a front seven. Mm-hmm. If you think you about to try to control, like, man,
that was my exact comments last week, man. You gotta. You know, the Giants won with that same formula. The Giants won with the. You look at the Giants team that beat Brady's team. They had the worst quarterback. You know, they were playing against the GOAT quarterback, the GOAT coach, and all of this stuff. But they came with a front four that was relentless, and and that's how they won the Super Bowl. They had the better defense. But
we all linemen, so we pay attention to what's going on in the trenches. I think that's been probably one of the best front sevens all year. In football, they get after, they rush the passer well. Got a good rotational guys coming in rushing the passer. You're not gonna run the ball on them. So Patrick Mahomes is a great player, but I just don't think he has that time to just sit back there and throw these bombs all game like he's accustomed to. They're going to be disruptive. He's going to have to vacate the pocket and do some things and be great. And in a Super Bowl, can you do that and win? Can you do that enough to win?
Do you guys think that the Kobe situation, San Francisco being in in California, do you think that the Kobe situation could affect them in any way?
Yes and no. I mean,
the media. I guess they all been in Miami.
They're gonna play. They're gonna play.
They
it
all
up like
been
that.
in Miami.
But I think with the game being in Miami, I don't think it should. But they're gonna
they
try
probably
to play
been there all week.
Yeah.
And they're gonna try to do a tribute to Kobe and any guys that knew him.
Yeah.
Will probably that emotional side going into the game. You probably have those emotions coming up. You never really can't tell.
Who do you think's a better tight end? Who has the edge at the tight end?
No, it's not a conversation.
Why is it?
It's not.
Who is it?
It's Kelsey by a mile.
You think?
It is.
It's hard for me to say that because when I watch Kittle, I think Kittle's one of the best blocking tight ends.
He's so physical.
He's one of the best blocking tight ends.
Okay, that's cute.
Most tight ends you want to hide. most elite tight ends you want to hide them backside of the formation, just cutting off.
Give me a cookie for this one.
But Kittle, you can put him on the front side of the formation and run to him.
Okay.
And give him point of contact blocks, one-on-one with DNs, and I think he's one of the best tight ends in the league at just pure blocking, and that's in addition to what he does in the passing game. And it's no knock against your guy, but
Steve said Southern Cal and Northern Cal.
Hell no.
I love that dude.
He said they hate each other.
He's like, hell no.
Okay, this is why I'm going to tell you that Kittle is not nowhere near Kelsey. Okay. When the 49ers were trash 2 years ago, getting first picks back-to-back and second picks back-to-back, Kittle was getting yards, right? There was nobody else to throw to over there. Nobody. Who are the receivers? Who are the receivers there now?
You got Debo Samuel,
Emmanuel
Sanders.
That's about it that I know. They got that track star, right?
You got that
Goodwin.
Yeah, Goodwin.
Good one, but
now think about the weapons that Kelsey has had around him the entire time he's been there at running back. He hadn't always had Patrick Mahomes. Right? He hadn't always had Patrick Mahomes.
He's making my case for me, though. Hold on. I'm going to let you
I'm not making your case.
Watch. I'm going to let you finish.
If I got 4 weapons around me,
right,
and I got to share the ball with all these guys,
right,
I got to share. You get 20. You get 20. You get 20. Like Oprah. You get a new car. You get a new car. You get a new car.
Take it.
He's going to make my point.
Don't make it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Go ahead. I'm going to tell you. I'm
going
to bring it full circle.
I think I know what he's going to say.
He's going to try to say, I'm going to tell you what he's going to say. He's going to try to say, since he's got so many weapons, they can't double team him.
Exactly. If you're playing with elite talent across the board, they can't double anybody.
But if I got Tyreek Hill, one of the top receivers in the game,
then you can't double me.
You can't double me.
Kelsey. Yeah.
But I also have to split balls. No homo. With I have to split balls, bro.
Pause. I think it just depends on who's the.
That's a personal foul.
It depends on who the defense tries to take away. So if they're gonna double Kelsey that day, then yeah, Tyreek Hill gonna
tear it up,
catch him. But if you're gonna double Tyreek Hill, then you can't double Kelsey. That's what I'm saying. You got talent across the board like that. if you're not gonna double Kelsey, he gonna kill you.
He gonna kill you regardless.
But I'm saying like in Kittle's case, like you said,
he doesn't have any.
He don't have any weapons around him. You know the one weapon that they have,
and
he's still able to be productive and put up all those yards, knowing that he's the only effective guy they have on offense at that time. And then
you know what? I love you, Roy, but I gotta agree with him on this.
It's just another way to look. I think it's just another way to look.
I understand the argument, bro. I understand the argument, but the argument is, to me, Kelsey's doing it on a team. We learned Kittle's name because he was a high volume fantasy dude. That's how he popped up. There was nothing else in San Francisco.
I had him. So I had him on fantasy.
They kept getting it to Kittle. They kept getting it.
How are they able to do that? Like when they have no weapons around him.
Though, sir. Like they sucked. They were 1-15 or 2-14.
But
so there was nobody else.
Suck, you know, like this is the best player on the offense.
I got a good question.
You got to double him. You got to key on that guy. So if you know every team is keying on him, how's he ever doing?
Hold on. Who was a better tight end, Gronk or Aaron Hernandez?
No homo.
Gronk, man.
Are you sure?
Aaron Hernandez was. He was good.
According to the documentary, Aaron Hernandez was a tight end, not just
watch out. Man. He was a loose end.
He was a
wide receiver.
He was a split end.
Stop.
I don't support that.
Stop.
God damn it, Roy.
Oh man.
I'm talking about. Look, the documentary said it, not me.
What I remember about Aaron Hernandez when he was on the all the stuff that came out of the documentary, it's like it was mind-boggling. Because when he's on the field, like you see this different, like dominant, like beast of an athlete, and you just never know that kind of stuff is going on. But like behind the scenes, you never know what somebody's dealing with behind the scenes. I was just so shocked by.
We didn't really touch on this last week.
We didn't, but dude. The documentary sucks.
Yeah,
to me, it's not a great thing because they didn't.
They said everything. I mean,
they concentrated on his sexuality the whole time
because I feel
they made it.
That's one thing nobody really knew.
But I know we didn't know.
You know what I mean, so they knew the shock value was going to be.
That doesn't make you murder people randomly.
No, I don't think so.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Aaron Hernandez story is bigger than his secret sexual life.
Right.
We want to know what, like they touched on his dad dying. They touched on his dad being this type of guy.
Right.
Why don't we go to that? Show us, show us some proof of that.
Yeah.
Don't just tell me. Show me some proof that his dad.
But for people people
like
who
that.
really observe and like pay attention and don't fall for like the storylines that they try to like throw out there and make us bite on, just from everything they were saying, from my angle when I watched it, I took a guy who lost a dad, didn't have a father figure, and went off to college with this. It seemed like more of a chip on his shoulder, more of like a defense mechanism, more than anything. Like I need to be tougher than I really am internally, and I need to portray.
I need to not show my emotion.
Right, I need to portray this toughness at all times, basically to going into a new environment. And I think he just kind of took on that persona more and more. And the more he got the money and everything that came with being in the NFL, I think it just kind of fed that notion or that front he was putting on of I need to be, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't a thug, he wasn't a gangster.
He's from Connecticut.
You know what I mean?
There's not one tough person in Connecticut.
I think it's some good football players come out of Connecticut, but I wouldn't say your top like gangster, you know what I mean? Is gonna come out of Connecticut, and so
Garoppolo does sound like the mob though. Like
Jimmy
Garoppolo.
Yeah, but they messed up, man. That would have been a good documentary to talk about CTE. You know what I mean?
Yeah, did he really have CTE?
That's what the lady was saying. Supposedly she's the top. Supposedly she's a top like doctor in that field as far as studying brains once somebody's dead. And
I don't know, man. I
have questions about it too. I think it's more to it.
Man, after that, I wanted to yank my kid out of football.
For real,
it's
scary because it's like you don't know,
you can't play around with that shit.
God saved me, but you don't know what's gonna happen today or tomorrow, and you're looking at that, and you're like, okay, something happens to me, and my son's been playing football. Is this could be my son? This could be anybody's son.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you get nervous, but I just the further they went into that thing, the less and less I believed it. The less and less I believed it. I do believe that the dude got around the wrong people. I do believe that he killed everybody. I do believe that he shot the dude in the face. I think the first one was because, and this is something they don't touch on. Let's talk about CTE, but what about the PCP that he was smoking, right? Did that have anything to do with his brain shrinking?
Right.
Did that have anything to do with why he was, we want to say the football did it. Well, let's go look at a crackhead's brain versus a regular person's brain. Like, your brain's got to look different from doing those drugs. Yeah. So you don't touch on that, and I think that's a bigger topic that you could have touched on to touch more people. Because it's like, okay, we talking about his sexuality. So if I'm watching that as an athlete, I'm like, okay, I'm not gay. That's not going to happen to me. Or if I'm watching that and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not getting hit like that, so I don't get CTE. But talk about drug usage and how that affected the dude's brain. Yeah. Yeah. The dude's brain may have clearly been like that because he was smoking drugs. And then they showed him one time in the club right before he killed the last guy, and he's dancing with a chick.
Oh yeah, and then he just has a mood swing.
And then he just like pushes the chick off, like
And he didn't like abruptly go to fight somebody. It was just
like get away from
off,
me.
And then
then he walked off.
It was a weird. Yeah, that was weird.
And then he walked off away, and then he left. And from that point, so something in his head at that point triggered that he had to kill that dude, right? Something triggered that he had to kill that dude right then. But I don't know, man. I think they did a poor job of. And then they had the guy from the Patriots who kept saying,
random guy.
Like, who is this guy?
Random guy.
I knew he was gonna say it.
Who is this dude?
Total random.
I don't even know who he is. He's
What
like,
did he
yeah,
say?
man. Oh man, he was like, yeah, man. I ate so much food because I didn't want to be attractive to anybody. Like, what does that have? That's what he said, dude. Not me.
No, I know.
He was like, yeah, man, I got to be 400 pounds because I didn't want to be attractive to anybody. What are you even talking about?
I don't know. What was alarming to me is like watching him as he was going through like all the court cases and like all the court scenes. He just seemed like no emotion.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like, and even when he was at bookend, once the case was like over and he knew he was gonna go and do life. Even at the bookend, he just seemed so comfortable, like going into that set, and it was like, man, this dude really is just like this cold. Maybe he is this cold hard killer that they're portraying him to be. But then you go and hang yourself, thinking, I would have to think about like, either you're thinking about, all right,
that was
now life is really setting in. I got to do life in this cell. And
I don't think that's what it was.
See, and I think
it was strategy that he hung himself.
You think so?
I think.
Oh, the strategy of trying
to get his case thrown out. So that his kid could get his money.
Oh, okay. See, and when I'm looking at video and looking at the court and at the documentary of him in court and looking around, and he doesn't really have emotion
until he saw Bob Kraft. That was the only time.
Yeah. Until
that
then,
was the only time.
But my thing was, it's a little different from what you think. What was going? Maybe he is this cold-blooded killer.
Maybe.
See, my thing was, I think he was lost, and because he got so caught up in hanging around the wrong people, right. He had no clue what was going on. Like I don't think it really hit him. Shit, I messed up, And
right.
his lawyers, the people that represented him, they did a shitty job of representing him.
Yeah, the first group, not the second.
No, yeah.
Second, yeah.
Baez did
second
a great
group,
job.
They pulled that rabbit out of the hat.
But the first group, they did a shitty job of representing him. And I think it was like, here, I'm going to pay them all this money. They're going to take care of me, and they really didn't. Right. And I think that I mean, no one will ever know if he pulled that trigger.
He definitely.
I'd bet every dollar I got that
he definitely did a bad job of
covering it up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He left shell casings. Yeah. They took in-home footage.
That's a good question.
Where did all this footage come from?
I don't know, man.
Man, they had footage everything of his whole life. Yeah. It seemed like they had a footage of out of his house.
Isn't that wild?
Out of his house, they had footage of him in the club. They had footage of him
at the store when he was dancing.
They had footage of him almost committing every crime. Every crime
he was set up.
There at least.
He was set up.
I'm like, man,
the Illuminati.
Big brother.
It's a conspiracy,
Big brother.
Dude, that's why
Big brother.
That's why TV shows don't make no sense to me. I know we can't be here all night, but we see this dude, and everything he did, they got on camera. But you watch a TV show, they just go out and kill people and they get away with it. Dude,
they got to update these TV shows.
You got to update the TV show. They knew when Aaron Hernandez pushed a girl off of him from dancing, And you mean to tell me you can go down, right in the middle of New York City and shoot somebody in the face? Come on, man.
They had him all in the parking garage. They had footage of him everywhere.
Showing his mannerisms, like how he's feeling. He's mad, how he's walking around.
Yeah.
Showing with a gun in his hand in his own house. I don't. He wasn't the smart. Like, he was probably the worst criminal that I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Right.
He had plenty of opportunities to get rid of all the footage in his house he could have got rid of. They didn't even suspect this dude for days and days and days. They were just saying, "Oh, it happened right behind his house. It was his buddy," but he didn't go to jail. They didn't, they didn't make him
right away.
They can't. He was still free,
and he still didn't get rid of
anything.
anything.
Didn't get rid of it. He didn't get rid of the gun until he was already in jail. He called her and told her to get rid of the gun. Dude, all of this time you could have got rid of the gun. And she just threw the gun in the dumpster.
The car, too, that they stashed in the
car just sitting in the garage.
The car, man.
Just gift wrap.
Dude, the one that gets me is they got a size 13 shoe, same size that he's got, and with the same
Jordan
dirt.
print?
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. You should just say, look, okay, man. I did it, but start coming up with an excuse why you did it.
For me, just seeing all the footage they had of him, I was like, man.
They had everything.
They got this dude.
I don't even know how that was even a trial that lasted that long. It took them like 3 or 4 days,
to come back with a verdict. Yeah.
They like, why? What are y'all waiting on? Like, he's guilty.
I don't know. I just think, man, even without like electronic devices and all of that stuff, man, anything can be like, I don't know.
But they were pinging his tower. They were pinging his cell phone.
That's
like,
that's
what I'm saying. Throw my cell phone.
Weird,
Right?
crazy because I've been at home. I've been at home like shopping on my iPad, and then I'll get on like social media on my phone, and it's like the same advertisements of what I've been shopping for. And I'm like,
the hell?
What?
Is
this a coincidence? Like,
no, it ain't.
No, it ain't a coincidence.
It's all connected.
And it's not like they're both.
You heard it first.
Linked, you know what I mean? Like that stuff. Crazy.
Hey, can we play the X-Files theme song?
That's
so funny.
I really do think Steve said,
"Welcome to the judicial system."
We need to find that out. No, he said, did his fiance get the money? That's something that I want to look up.
I think they're still going up. I think
they changed the law now.
I don't think they did. Yeah, I don't think
they changed the law.
They
like
did.
Years
They for sure
later.
changed the law because the
mom
kept fighting for it.
Odin's mom,
and they finally changed the law. So
that's
so he did get the charges.
Who was the dude that was? This is another questionable character. The dude that was Odin Lloyd's teammate. Next time
Man, you know who I thought that was? I thought that was the dude that played with the Bengals. Was it TJ Manzada?
I thought that was Keith Thurman.
Hey, this dude was really talking like they was like
he was
playing
tough.
for the Packers.
Yeah.
Man, stop it, bro. Stop.
He was on there talking like I was like, is this, you play with Aaron Rodgers or like who is this guy, man? These guys were really on that show talking like.
He talked so much about Aaron being a gangster. He was trying to sound like a gangster.
Yeah, he's like
punk ass, kill my friend, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
well, I don't know. He'd have to be the most controversial gangster in the world because initially, growing up, he wanted to be a cheerleader.
Who the dude?
No, Aaron Hernandez.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So for him to just all of a sudden be
that's but his daddy wouldn't
his
let
dad
him
beat
be
the shit out of him.
Initially, he told his dad he wanted to be a cheerleader. And his dad, his dad was like homophobic, and they said his dad was
so
like,
they say, but no proof.
Well,
there's no proof.
It is no proof.
I like you don't touch on that, but we touch on everything else. Like, why, who, and then the other dude and his dad. We're not gonna get into it. But
I know a guy from Connecticut, and he was telling me that Aaron Hernandez's dad was, I guess, like a boss in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's
so
what
maybe that's why they didn't get into.
They said it was so many people, but he dead now, bro.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
so
just
many people at his funeral.
You never know, like what his ties were, like who he was connected to.
If he was tied in like that, Aaron Hernandez wouldn't be in prison and dead.
True.
Well, that's true too.
He would have been able to get away with murder.
Everything. He wouldn't have even had to do anything if he was tied if his dad was tied like that.
Nah, he wouldn't. He would have been able to just say, "Hey." But I think
maybe not necessarily. If his dad was connected like that.
If the dad was connected like that, maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe he's like, man,
I feel like I need to take on this persona because this is after like growing up and like getting older, finding out like this is who his dad was. Maybe that's a persona he tried to take on.
Well, he was like, my daddy the people who my dad knows will get me out of this, right? I know, they'll get me out of this because he didn't get in any
so much
trouble
question,
in Florida.
man.
That they didn't even touch on.
They didn't touch on nothing.
That's why I was like, I don't really care for this documentary anymore.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, but I felt like his older brother is kind of like, that's Aaron. That's how I felt. Like I felt like he wasn't like the big brother as how kind of they portrayed.
I felt like
him,
he was more feminine than Aaron.
Well, he's doing something that's real feminine by writing a book after his brother's dead to say that his brother is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. He's putting all of that he's gay in there and all of that stuff.
It's
like I don't think any of that
you
matters.
can't feel comfortable profiting off that after somebody's dead. Come on.
I just don't think it matters, dude. Like at the end of the day, who cares? Like all of y'all people were saying that. Where were y'all when he was alive?
Yeah,
I seen his wife on a document or something it was a commercial or something recently. I guess a new interview, and she was just crying saying she didn't even know. And I would think I think she would know if this guy was that way. His wife. Maybe I don't know. Man.
And I know
I don't want to touch on that too much.
She was.
We're gonna have the LGBTQTYA community.
Man, I was scrolling down Facebook, and the quarterback popped up again, right? And on top of the meme, it said, "I knew Kobe Bryant," and then ... I was like, man, that's too soon for that, man. Yeah, I was like, damn.
Man, yeah, the internet. The internet is ruthless, dude. It's not.
Man, that Kobe stuff, man. That's.
Yeah, the internet is ruthless, dude. Some of the stuff that those people were saying, like right after it happened, it was like, dude, like you can't have.
I'm not insensitive to rape and stuff like that. Definitely that stuff is severe and it's serious. But it's like, okay, if it was that important to you, why wasn't you talking about his rape cases last week and the week before?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why you wait right into something tragic like this?
They
This
start bringing that
tragic
old shit
event,
up,
and then
yeah.
you start like that's
Bringing
the moment
that
for you
up.
to bring that up. And not that I'm insensitive to anybody that's a victim, but it's like, if you were that concerned, like last week you had an opportunity, the week before that,
Every day you could have.
every day you had an opportunity to be bringing aware or trying, I just don't. The
That's the
timing
media
for
for
me
you, man.
the timer for me just didn't.
We're the media now, Rob.
we're here to break that. We're here to break that trend.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. Steve said I killed the vibe.
Way to kill the
What y'all think about the helicopter he was traveling in not having this, I guess this box or like some compartment that's supposed to have in it,
But
to alarm them when they're close to like low terrain or like.
The terrain. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. His helicopter was like in 1991. I don't know.
They were using an iPad for like all of this stuff, but it's supposed to be a box in the helicopter that alarms you when you're like getting close to like land or like terrain. You know what I mean?
It seems, I'm not, I don't know anything about it, but with what they saying that he went up real quick, it seems like he was going into the mountain, right? It seemed like he was affected by the fog. From everything that I've seen, he was affected by the fog, and he really didn't know that the hill was right there because I only missed it by like 20, 30 feet. Like he would have cleared the hill. He was 20 to 30 feet from clearing the hill. Damn. You know what I mean? So it seemed like he got up on it and then he wanted to go up. But it was. No, he said he went up first and then that back down. I
don't think he really knew where he was, and I think if you have that box, the closer you get to that hill, it's gonna alarm you, and you gotta go in a different direction at that point.
That's tough.
It's almost like he was flying blind. I'm like,
I saw somebody say Illuminati shot that helicopter down.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So LeBron could take over. I heard that too.
The crazy thing is one day after, it's one day after the stuff happened with LeBron passing his record. And then
that's why I was like, man, that was coincidental.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
and then he wrote on his shoe like Mamba Forever.
Yeah.
LeBron had that shit written on his shoe.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It don't make no sense, but depending on what you believe in, I believe in God.
I didn't know Kobe was like religious like that until like a priest came out and said the morning of he was at mass.
Him and
the morning before traveling, he was at mass.
Kobe and Sunday.
Kobe was before he traveled, he was at mass, and then I guess he went and was gonna go travel to the game.
This is a lot of questions, man.
I never knew he was religious at all.
Yeah, me neither. But depending on what you believe in, hey, everybody's got their day. That day was just Kobe's day. It doesn't matter if it was the Illuminati or whoever did it.
No,
you know
once you're gonna come down and crash.
Yeah, that was his day, man. But
even if they were able to get to that helicopter sooner, the way they said the debris was spread over like 500 yards, nobody's making it.
Yeah, nobody. What I seen, it was like it looked like it. You know, it didn't.
Nobody.
It looked bad. You know, so. But we're not gonna end the show on that kind of note. We got to end the show on
a good note.
On a positive note.
Yep.
So, I don't know what that is.
We
but
still
we're
got
gonna find
so we still got these cookies right here.
Yeah, try it out. So this is a protein chocolate chip pecan.
Keto friendly. Keto friendly. Right, Julio? Keto friendly.
I don't think that one's keto friendly.
So,
Julio tasted it.
We have some future guests coming up. I'm not gonna.
I do have a major announcement. I'm announcing this late in the show, and a bunch of people probably missed it. But North Shore will be playing De La Salle in Houston.
What? Oh. When is this going down? No confirmation?
We are there.
We're going to be there.
Tell Coach Willie to get us some.
Well, that's who told me that we need to try to get press passes.
How do we do that?
I don't know. Anybody out there that knows, how do we get press passes?
My man,
how do we get
press
passes?
It's major, man.
Oh, we're going to be there,
We need to go. We need to.
The
The check down needs to be in the
deal.
De La Salle versus North Shore game. And that is a
that team's good, man. I mean, North Shore's good too, but it's going to be a phenomenal game.
Yeah, for sure.
Phenomenal game.
We're in there, though.
Dude, you imagine how it's going to be like when Duncanville was going to play South Lake Carroll. It's going to be like times 20.
Yeah.
They're going to hype that game up a lot.
Speaking of Duncanville, my wife still holds the track records at Duncanville High. Just want to put that out there.
Want to give her a shout out?
Give my wife a shout out. Shout out Rachel Rogers, great coach at Shadow Creek High School.
The Creek.
That's two cookies, so I can eat them.
Hey, Steve said he's on it. Steve said he's on the press passes.
Nice.
Steve's somewhere in his Bentley driving around.
There you go.
Making this happen.
There you go.
In the Bentley. Steve, man, you got to let me get a ride in the Bentley so I can take a bunch of selfies. Let me get in the passenger seat, take a bunch of selfies, man.
So we, like I said, I'm not going to announce exactly who our future guests are, but we definitely have some big time.
We can announce.
No, not yet. No. I want to. Well, what do you think?
We can announce a couple of them
Yeah.
in studio.
Yeah.
So we want to announce the caller. We got a pretty big caller next week.
Huge.
Right? We're gonna be on Thursday next week, right? So we got a pretty big caller. If you're a fan of high school football, this dude is the person you want to talk to. He's a high school football person. So even bigger than Coach Snelson. Like,
that's dope.
Probably about 5 times bigger than Coach Snelson. So he's gonna call and talk to us. But we'll have since the showcase is the week after. No,
we'll probably need to have them on next week because I don't want to bother them that week. They're probably going to go through last minute preparations. And
okay, so we'll have
giving away. He's giving some information right now.
We'll have from South Houston, Patrick Wiltz. We'll have the man, the myth, the legend,
the
New England Patriots, Michigan State Super Bowl champion, and from Gulf Coast. Greg Randall.
I need him to bring his Super Bowl ring.
Greg, bring the Super Bowl ring, man.
Yeah.
Bring the bling.
First time meeting him, man. I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
We'll have those guys in here to talk about the showcase, and we'll have a pretty big time caller, man.
Big time caller.
I think he's a pretty big time caller. I'm gonna work all week on getting some good questions for him, man. So
that's dope.
Man, we appreciate all of y'all listening and tuning in. I'm gonna let Robert finish it off.
Yeah. After those guys come, we have other guests.
Even bigger. Even bigger than those guys.
All caps. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Just stick with us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Checkdown Podcast HTX. Same thing with YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe and share all of our videos. Sir, I appreciate you coming in, man.
Man, I definitely appreciate y'all inviting me, man. This is a nice platform you guys got going. Definitely a fan of the show now. I'll be tuning in, checking you guys out, man. Y'all Invite me back sometime, man. I'd love to come back on the show.
You're always
Sure,
invited. You're a Cowboy fan, man. We're together.
Hey, go Cowboys.
We're together.
Yes,
I didn't play college ball, but we have a fraternity
Yes,
with Cowboy
sir.
fans.
Yes,
Hey.
These guys
Chiefs
right
Kingdom.
Disgruntled Texan fan.
That's what he was. That's why he made the jump.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. We got the Cava Real corner right there, so you can come and have a few
good
drinks and
time.
enjoy the show, man.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, Junior, you got anything else?
Nah,
Junior,
man.
Junior Mahomes.
Man, I'm so excited, bro. You guys on the football podcast, we got so much stuff lined up. Baseball podcast, so much stuff lined up. So, man, it's gonna be a great year, man. 2020
2020 is
Wind
our
Up
year,
Media
bud.
Group is gonna just blow this up.
We're gonna be,
talk to them about the
expanding.
stickers. We're gonna get stickers for the show too and pass them out.
So
these are some samples.
So you want to tell them about Jaden? I know if they ever see him.
Oh yeah. So if you guys ever see me walking around, for those that play travel baseball,
Can you see that?
if y'all don't see me, I was getting confused. See Jalen, and he's got a bunch of those stickers to give out, and we're gonna get some for the football podcast. So you'll see those everywhere now. So
Yes,
just
and
stick around.
hopefully we're under construction with a new logo.
Yep.
A new logo.
The other thing, I meant to say this while Coach Snelson was here. We are looking to pay for SATs and ACT tests.
There you go.
Don't be nervous. Don't be shy.
That's dope, man.
Like that is something we're looking to do. You don't have to put it in the group right here. You know, send it to us. Find a way to get it to us.
Take advantage of it. High school kids, take advantage, man. Take advantage. These guys are willing to invest into your future.
And we're not going to come on here next week and say, hey, man, we paid for Bill Johnson's SAT.
Yeah, it's not about that.
That's not what we're trying to do, man. We're really trying to do good things for people. So if you need it, come get it. Oh, and by the way, my Instagram is Wine Cooler Poppy, wine _ C2 LER Poppy. Okay, follow me. I need to get my followers up. Wine Cooler Poppy.
Junior's is Junio
_world. That's my IG.
You have an IG?
I don't have IG.
I was trying to look for you the other day.
If you want to link me, I'm on Facebook, and my Twitter is SirV55, SIRV55.
Man.
Yeah,
like
his Twitter is
haven't migrated to Instagram,
like
man. I think I might make that jump this year.
Sounds like an AR-15 or something.
SirV55.
SirV55.
And
That's my football
don't
name.
forget SirV55 and Wine Cooler Poppy.
Shameless.
You got to put that on the shirt, Roy.
Self-promotion. Shameless self-promotion.
My Instagram is Rojustlo, ROJUSTLO. Be sure to follow the Checkdown on Instagram. Share our videos as much as you can. We appreciate the support. We appreciate everybody tuning in and the call-ins and everybody spending your Wednesday evenings with us. Next week we'll be on Thursday. We got a lot of things coming up for 2020 in the near future. So stick with us and we'll keep it rolling. I'll be wearing a special hoodie at the showcase in a couple weeks in Round Rock, Texas. Going down the limb right now. 90's gonna take the gold rings in Round Rock. Roy's with the Gulf Coast. So yeah, we're good.
Go Gulf Coast, man. We're taking the whole Gulf Coast to the platinum bracket, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Julio, you good?
Yeah, good show, guys.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget your why.
There you go. If you don't have
Dickinson
a why,
Gators,
forget it.
Don't forget your why.
Hey,
Don't
and
forget
thank
your
you to
why.
Coach John Snelson for coming in.
Yeah, great coach.
Yeah, he's Dickinson. You guys got a good one.
Great guy. Yep.
So appreciate it because when he's gone, you guys will regret it. I promise.
Yeah. Thank you again, Sir V, coming through, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I know,
Sure, thank y'all for having
all of
me,
these
man.
guys are my friends, but that doesn't mean they have to come here and do this
Exactly.
show.
So
I
we really
always
appreciate it.
I appreciate
Thank you,
guys
sir.
having me, man. It was definitely fun with
Best
you
of
guys.
luck. Hopefully you have a healthy season.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck in 2020, my man.
Thank you, boss. Yes, sir.
We're good.
Yes, sir.
This is the Checkdown Podcast HTX. Have a great week. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
Man, my head is shiny.